What up, man? Happy Friday. Coop, how you doing, brother?
Running around up until the moment again.
Man, it be like that, man, especially on a Friday and on a Wednesday, too. I don't think people really understand what it's like, in the whole behind the scenes work. I'm sure people don't care. But once we're here, everything's good. Everything's cool. It's like we sit here and prepare for the show like the whole day,
No,
especially when new
literally,
music hits.
especially when it's new music. I mean, when it's new music, the preparation for me starts actually the night before. Like, if I'm going to get 3 listens before the show, I got to stay up.
What up to everybody coming in the room? We got people coming in the room. What up, Darren Harris? Man, you guys were really, really, really in the room last show, man. Let's get them numbers all the way up too, because we got a new Nas record to talk about.
Oh, hey,
Technically not Nas record. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Preem record.
Yeah,
But hey, shout out to everybody. We're over 8,000 followers now.
yeah. We appreciate that, man. Like 8,000, about to head to 9, and then hit that 10, and then get to 100,000. We really appreciate everybody that comes in here, converses with us, talk shit with us, listen to some of our great takes and some of our bad takes. And I'm sure people say I have some bad takes when it comes to this Southern MCs list, man. I was really going back and forth, man. I was listening to a lot of T.I. last night.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You made a really, really great argument when it came to Pusha T over Wayne and the whole battle thing. And, you almost convinced me. But Wayne was just such a superstar and is such a superstar. And I heard him on the Preem album today, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that.
You want to know what? I'll be fair with you. I'm totally okay. I told you, like, I was like, questioning myself. I was like, is it Wayne or is it Pusha T? Am I Pusha T biased? I do think it's a more valid discussion than people realize, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. You gave Pusha T a whole lot, and everything that you
I
said.
didn't give him a lot. He had a lot.
No. You brought up a lot of great things. And bar for bar, me personally, if we want to talk about pen game, I'm more of a Pusha T guy than, T.I. and Wayne.
Right.
But it's like, I think that when you look at my list, and I'm going to talk about the list, it's a lot of it's predicated on what those individuals were able to do as individuals. And if we were able to get that clips output from Pusha T as an individual, along with what we got currently, Pusha T as an individual, it would have been no question. But the clip stuff even made it a conversation. You know what I mean?
No. I totally get what you're saying. I think, where's my list at? I mean, just for me, I'm pretty okay with my top 5.
I think you and I's top 5. I'm gonna put both of ours on the screen. I don't know if you're looking at the show too, but your top 5 is Face, Pusha, Wayne, Cole, T.I. My top 5 is the same, it's just in different orders. I got Face.
I was about to say.
I got Face, Wayne, T.I., Pusha T, Cole.
I was about to say 2 through 5. I'm totally cool with you swapping those pieces and those parts around. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of us forget how much of a superstar T.I. was, and I think that the other part of T.I. that's really intriguing to me, he never really fell off lyrically, and people act like he has. But we'll get to all of that. Marquez Davis with the super chat says, fellas, Nas, the greatest. The man is amazing. Happy Friday. Keep up the good work. Always good to hear y'all. Appreciate that. Yes, Nas is amazing. Nas is the greatest MC ever. We got to talk about the other greatest MC ever, Jay-Z, saying that he's not working on any music. Do we believe him? Okay. DiCarlo with the super chat says, Mike and Coop, y'all gotta stop ranking guys above the legit superstars of hip-hop, i.e. Pusha T being better than T.I., Wayne, and Luda, etc. I put Pusha behind those guys, but I got Pusha ahead of Ludacris. I'm sorry. And I love Luda. Mad Max with the super chat says, sorry, Cole over Wayne and Push, laughing my ass off. Did you? Oh, he has Cole over. Oh. We'll talk about all that. Dumb It Down with the super chat says, why are y'all guys sleeping on Fonte on your list? We're going to get to that too.
Fonte's 16 on my list. Where's Fonte on your list?
I didn't have him on
I'm
mine.
about to pull up the show right quick.
I didn't have him on
your
mine.
list? Did you drop your list like on YouTube or on Twitter? Or
it's
where?
on Twitter. It's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter? I'm not going there right now. I'm just going to pull it up.
No, we'll pull it up later. Reggie says, Coop, with the extra crispy lineup. I bet you bet dude in the first chair didn't do it. Facts. LP with the super chat says, where's Trick Daddy? He's done more than a lot of them. I had to wrestle with the Trick Daddy thing. We'll get to it. And some people who we thought were going to make it and, just weren't able to make it on the list because, we're just doing 25. And I thought 25 was easier to discuss than 50,
Hold on. Just real quick. Shout out to my barber, Tracy. Yeah, my barber's actually a woman. Yeah, Tracy's tight. Like, I've been going to Tracy for a couple years now. She's the tightest in the game.
Well, you know what? I missed my barber appointment today, so it's going to be next week for me. It's going to be like top of Monday or something. It's about time. The super chat says Banks might have album of the year so far. Do we want to start there, or do you want to start with Nas? We can start with Banks. We got 120 people in here, and I think by the time next couple of minutes we'll probably have 200, and then we can start talking about Primo. I don't know.
The Banks is going to take a little longer than just like a few minutes.
Okay.
Though, because
it's a full length where Primo was 5. Let's talk about Premier's album.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, at midnight, DJ Premier dropped 5 tracks. What did he call it? What's the
Hip-Hop 50, Volume 1.
That's it. Hip-Hop 50, Volume 1. 5 tracks. First track featuring Joey Badass, Remy Ma, and Rhapsody on track number 2. Then you got Nas, Beat Breaks. Then you got Terrible Twos, Run the Jewels. Then you got The Root of It All, Slick Rick and Lil Wayne. What were some of your thoughts?
I thought it was very fulfilling and very diverse for it to be so brief. It is brief enough that I think we can go like song by song and like kind of run it down right quick. Though.
I think we can. Let me go to the super chats before we do that. Man with the super chat says Luda is more versatile than Pusha T. Pusha is one lane, but I would say Pusha's longevity kind of trumps, Luda's peaks.
Here. Yeah, he kind of got here before Luda technically, and has been here far, far, far after.
I think the thing about Luda, and like I said, I love Luda. I hate that I have to keep prefacing that because it's the truth, but it's gonna sound like I'm being super critical. Luda's 2000 to 2004. Is that fair?
Fair.
Well,
here's also the thing too. When making the Southern MC list, I realized that it's only fair to frame it the kind of in the same vein that I did the all-time MC list, which is like, the lyrics matter a lot, but mostly the catalog is what comes into play.
Yeah. I think especially for Southern artists because when you talk about Southern MCs, it's about not only making songs, but making a lot of songs. And for some people, it's going to be very tough for you to compete with when they have like a massive amount of catalog.
Yeah. No, so I mean, because even one thing that I was thinking about, and if you want to put Wayne ahead of Pusha T, I'm cool with that, because then I thought, well, there are some people that feel like the Hot Boys album is a classic, Guerrilla Warfare, and the one before it.
Yeah.
And that is group work by Wayne, technically, even though he was not really the star of the group at the time.
Right. We got a $20 super chat from, was that Fargo? It says, peace, y'all, brothers. Happy Friday. Can you guys reflect on the new Lloyd Banks album if you listen, and how much to request an MC rating for him? And how much to request an MC rating for him? We're going to give him an MC rating.
Yeah,
we need to do that. We need to do that. And we need to get back to the MC rating, too. And we're going to rate this album. Are you at a place where you can rate this album?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mad Max to the super chat says Banks' album was good, but he's Inspector Deck or Method Man after a while. You just get tired. Still dope. And Mad Max also says Luda would smoke Pusha in the verses. Who? That's an interesting statement because I will say this. No. I think Luda, with his features, his individual catalog, he's a very tough matchup for anybody in the verses, to be perfectly honest. But I think that Pusha's stuff just hits so hard. I mean, if we talk about hit records, yeah, Luda got that.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about on some Dipset Locks type of shit or whatever, that's going to be very tough for Luda.
I mean, first of all, Luda doesn't have a grinding.
What would you say? What song in Luda's catalog would you say aged the best? Never mind. We're going to talk about that when we get
to
it.
Yeah, let's run down the Primo thing.
Unknown Name says Slick Rick and Killer Mike had the best verses. Preem's beats haven't been great since Prime 2. The Nas song was eh. LP says Fonte got classic verses, group albums, mixtapes, and 2 great solo albums. Where you rank him is subjective, but he's top 25 objectively. Top 10 to me. JD Diesel says, big shout out. We appreciate the content. Do you guys agree that Lil Sims is one of the best female MCs in the decade? Her bar work is crazy. I like Lil Sims too. Better than somebody else that we're going to talk about in a few seconds. Jay Short says, the Nas track is the weakest on the Primo EP. Now we can finally put 1994 nostalgia to bed and look towards KD3. Wow, is that how y'all feel about the record? Okay, well, let's start from the top. Joey Badass, Letting Off Steam.
I thought this was the best DJ Premier beat that I'd actually heard in a very long time.
I liked it a lot, too.
I liked it a lot, too, because it's like, I was like, is that Preem? I was like, Preem did that beat?
It was a little bit uncharacteristic, but it still had some of the, some of the themes and drum wise.
Yeah, as it went along, you definitely like, okay, no, I can hear it more like sounding like a Preem beat. But it was a nice little switch up. It was a great way to start the album. I thought Joey sounded phenomenal on here.
I did too. And Joey put out another record today too.
We can talk about that as well. I listened to that a few times.
I wasn't a big fan of Zip Codes, and I don't think that it serviced him well to put out a record the same day that he's on a Premier project. I'm gonna say this, and we'll move back to that song. I think that the records that Joey's putting out, I think that they're gonna fall well with the scope of the album. I don't think they need to be coming out week by week. Just put the album out or just wait. You know what I'm saying? Because these aren't songs that we need to hear individually. But this record right here, this shit is dope. And again, that's why I think that Zip Codes shouldn't have come out the same day as this, because this is much better than Zip Codes.
So what is that he said? Paint my thoughts on a mansion every canvas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is where Rakim is important. Again, where do you think that comes from?
Exactly.
I know you got soul. Constant elevation causes expansion. I write my rhymes while I cool in my mansion. He's everywhere in the fundamental craft of MCing.
Rakim is everywhere.
Right, he's everywhere. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. That's kind of like our historical footnote that I took away from that song too. Not being funny, it's the best Preem beat I heard in a long time. Joey delivers. I was actually thinking to myself, it's like I can't think of a better Joey Badass song off the top of my head that I prefer than what I just heard.
Off the top of my head,
not off the top of the head.
Yeah, off the top of the head. I mean, I know some. I was gonna say the one that him and Static put out. I mean, they've been putting out some really dope shit. But the first one that they put out earlier this year, it'll come to me in a second. Mad Max with the super chat says Joey had the best track to me, along with Killer Mike and Slick Rick. He said no, along with Killer Mike, the Slick Rick song was trash. Well, Wayne was on there too, so we can't just say Slick. LP with the super chat says song was a nostalgia trip. It's dated by design. Mad Max says, LOL, Coops. Coops losing it if Luda plays Move Bitch versus Grinding in a versus. Performance-wise, a remix. He got Nas and Jada. That kills Grinding. He's going to have to use those type of features. Okay. So, yeah, I think the Joey Badass song, honestly, is one of the strongest songs on the album. You want to go to the next song?
I think it's probably the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remy rap.
Yeah, first of all, when I saw Remy rap, I was like, oh, Remy got a solo record on a DJ Premier joint. That's dope. and then I realized it was like short for Rhapsody, and that it's Remy and Rhapsody. My thoughts, first of all, after saying it was the best Cream beat I had heard in a long time, I immediately said to myself, this beat should have been better.
Yeah. And you know what? This one, to me, was the one that really didn't sound like a Premier beat.
I can see why you would say that. But here's what I will tell you. I thought Remy's verse was a verse of the year contender because I said to myself, if a man spits this same type of rhetoric about other male MCs, it would be a verse of the year contender.
You know, I really, really, really liked Remy's verse on here, and
That's
I liked it so much that I wish this was Remy's song by herself.
I could see you feeling that way. I mean, this is the best verse on the album, in my opinion, is actually Remy's verse. She has the best verse on the album.
Nas the GOAT says the bar work was great, but the beats were some mid.
I agree to a degree. The bar work on all these songs is great for different reasons, but just in terms of what we would contextualize as that traditional lyrical, high-level bar work, Remy delivered.
I think the production on this one could have been better. I'm going to get to the elephant in the room. LP said Rhapsody killed it, though. I don't know what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish with the whole Remy thing because the way that she's explaining, you know, how she feels about what she's seeing from the crop of female MCs, she's doing it in an insightful manner, in the manner that Jay would. You feel me? Mm-hmm. She's being insightful and detailed about it. She's not generalizing it. You know what I mean? She's giving you, like, you know, she's giving you literary devices that connect.
DeCarlo says Remy and rap better than everyone on this.
I agree, Mike. That so when some of the stuff that you said too, I was thinking, well, damn. Because here was my thought. I said
everybody's bigging up Rhapsody's verse.
Well, here's what I was about to tell you. It's not better than Remy's verse, but I thought to myself when the track was done, if Rhapsody would have been on another record without that Remy verse, that Rhapsody verse would probably be a verse of the year contender too. And then you told me what you thought. So go ahead.
This is the thing, man. And
this was a bar seminar, Mike.
And I think from a technical standpoint, I get it. Rhapsody's bars are there. Her the way she puts things together are always there. I just don't feel Rhapsody like that for some reason. The way you feel about Logic and the way I was sitting here talking about Logic's Vinyl Days album and what he was doing, I feel the same way when I hear Rhapsody. And I guess I can't say it in any other terms other than the fact that her raps are just boring to me. It just are, man. Like, and again, that's not to say she's whack on no level, because she's not whack. I think that just stylistically, she doesn't really hold my attention like that. Like, it's just not for me like that. I would have much rather have heard, and I know it's going to sound awful to say, heard another Remy verse. And I know she was spitting on that. She did her thing, but I think the song would have been better for me if Remy had two verses.
I'm not going to totally disagree with that last sentiment just because of how Remy snapped on the first verse. But I did think that Rhapsody did an excellent job over somebody who I thought delivered one of the best verses of the year. Following up somebody who's delivering one of the best verses of the year is hard. And so Rhapsody's a pro. I hope people in the chat are discrediting you and your behavior and your thoughts.
I mean, look, we can't critique Rhapsody. Like,
No, it's cool. We can, but it's like, on what premise are you talking? Because it made
on
me
an
think
MC premise. Like, I mean, for me, she's not Rod Digger. She's not. I mean, as far as like, you know, just being interested in the bars or whatever. Like, what's y'all favorite Rhapsody song? Like, I don't know, man. I just don't really.
Hold on.
It doesn't. Hold on. It's like I said. To me, she's like the female Logic, man.
Hold on, you don't think Digga and her are comparable MCs?
I would much rather listen to Rod Digger's album and music than Rhapsody. It's not even close. Now, if we want to talk about on a technical level, maybe, I could see you saying it's comparable. But if you talk about Dirty Harriet and Eve and which one I want to listen to, it's not even close.
Now, you're higher on Dirty Harriet than most, for one, Mike. That needs to be understood. You're actually the only guy that really runs around talking about Dirty Harriet like that. Although Dirty Harriet,
you didn't like Tight?
It has some heat on there.
Okay. Give me a Rhapsody song that you would put up against Tight. Give me a Rhapsody song you would put up against Tight.
I'm not doing that.
Of course.
Okay, so listen to what I'm about to say though. I'm not taking anything away from Digga or from Dirty Harriet. Dirty Harriet has more high points than Eve. Digga has a better voice than Rhapsody. My biggest qualm about Rhapsody is probably her voice, because of all the dope ass female MCs. I think she might have the worst voice.
Even like on Complexion, on To Pimp a Butterfly, she's boring to me. I mean, that's such a, and you know how high I am on that album. Let me get to the super chats, because I'm sure I'm getting killed in here. Nas the Goat says, you think Remy's verse was better than Nas' second verse? I like Nas' second verse on there. Mad Max at the super chat says, she said that I'm a daughter of a gun. I spit out bullets as her first line, Mike. Don't do Rhapsody like that.
That's that technical rap Mike is talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we do this to other people, but when it comes to somebody like Rhapsody, it's like all that goes out the window.
So here's what I would tell you. Right now, so where would you have Rhapsody all time, and where would you have her right now if you were just talking amongst the female contemporaries?
That's a good question. Let me get to these super chats, and I'm gonna jot this down real quick. Eric Terrell says, "Love the show. My favorite, my new favorite. Coop, how do you feel about Ice Cube's Kill It Will EP? It's a classic, in my opinion. Of course, it's a classic."
So I do another podcast, Mirror Music, and we were talking. We just did one where we were comparing Sublime Santeria and Nothing But a G Thing by Dr. Dre and Snoop. And one of the things that I was talking about was the West Coast run, and I highlighted how in a very brief amount of time, Ice Cube made 2 classic albums and 1 classic EP. That classic EP would be
incredible.
Yeah.
Kill It Will. Jay Short says, female MCs like Shay Noir caught up to Rhapsody. Yes. That's my point.
Hold on.
That's my point.
So pause. So what you're having is that you're seeing Rhapsody in a transitional climate where things are changing for female MCs. Like, I just came on the show on Wednesday and I told you, I said, there's never even been a collective like the Griselda Collective and the umbrella that it's becoming in its subsidiaries that's even had 3 female MCs, the quality of Che Noir, Love the Genius, and Armani Caesar, even within their fold. And I went and checked.
Reggie says, Mike, do you like Ciroc? Yes, I do like Ciroc. She's awesome. Marquez Davis says, my favorite Rhapsody song is Sojourner with J. Cole. Dope record. And the Eve album is dope. But you know what? It's one of those dope albums that on a technical level is dope, but I don't listen to it. And I'm not trying to be funny. Jevin June says, I agree with Mike about Rhapsody. I wouldn't say boring, though.
Okay, so
when I listened to Shay Noir's album this year, I was like, yo, this is one of the best albums of the year.
Easy. We're going to talk about that.
I like Shay Noir better than Rhapsody, but you asked me my top 10, right?
Hold on.
Okay.
Are we doing all time right now, or are we doing right now? Which one are we doing first? Because I asked you a double-edged question, or a dual-ended question.
I mean, I think Rhapsody's been around 10 plus years. I think we should be able to do it all time, right?
No. We're going to do both. We're going to place her now and place her like all time. We can do the all time first. Okay. I'm cool with that. I was just making sure what we were doing first.
Do you place Rhapsody over MC Lyte? Queen Latifah? Lil' Kim?
We're not doing that. Let's like start somewhere where it's comparable.
Lil' Kim, The Brat?
No.
Okay. No. Foxy Brown? I mean, where are we going, man? Eve?
Stop.
Yeah,
that's where I think the pocket for her starts to happen, because you just named the people that I definitely have ahead of her, which is Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, The Brat.
Like, I think I'm higher on Eve than you are, because as much as I loved The Brat growing up, I would have to say that I would place Eve over The Brat.
Eve's best is Rough Riders First Lady, and The Brat's best is Funkdafied. So give me Funkdafied.
Really? I don't know, man. I mean, I like Funkdafied.
I love Eve's first album, but Eve's first album, I'm just gonna say this respectfully, a lot of the best stuff on there has help.
Love Is Blind is a really good record.
It's a great record. It's
It
one of the
is,
best.
you know, and she took it to
Beautiful
places
record,
that the Brat wasn't able to take it to.
You want to know what? It's a very comparable conversation. So if you told me that Eve was better than the Brat, because you want to know, I think she has a better voice and delivery, actually.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, if we want to talk about album for album, she's been able to continue her hit-making ability. We're talking about hits in that day. She was able to do it all. She can make street records. She can make a record with Gwen Stefani, Blow Your Mind. She can make a Gangsta Lovin' with Alicia Keys. She was able to do that song from the Rough Rider compilation, the first one.
What You Want?
Yeah, she could do everything. Like, I think Eve's versatility
goes
understated, honestly.
No, you want to know what? I'm cool with putting Eve ahead of the Brat. You want to know what? Because you're right. I actually, I met Eve after she came out with What You Want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she came into the record store in Charlotte. She was super cool. This is before the fame, though. She was like in a little tank top and like some Daisy Dukes, and was just like with some sunglasses on and was just like kicking it. She was like a chick from Philly. You know,
I've heard nothing but great stuff about Eve as far as personality.
Yeah, she was super cool. Yeah, she was cool. She was like a, you know, you want to know it when she walked in the door, like Round the Way Girl started playing in my head.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, Rhapsody, not Shay Noir or Lady London. I like Cannon more than Rhapsody, too. Her voice is weaker, though. She's nice. I see what Mike is saying. She's not Eve, cool.
No, I'm cool with that. No. I'm cool with that. I'm talking about a starting point. So, of course, she's not Lauryn Hill.
Do we even count Lauryn? Because, you know, again, she doesn't really have a lot of... Well, I guess she got the score.
She's got the score. And she...
In a vacuum, Lauryn Hill is the greatest female MC I've ever heard, and one of the greatest MCs I've ever heard, period.
Andre 3000 made your top 10 Southern MCs list, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, on Lauryn Hill's R&B album, she has 2 songs with 3 rap verses. Andre doesn't have that in his entire career, so if he can still be in our top 10 all-time Southern MCs, and we don't even know if he can spit 3 bars... 3 verses straight through. No, we know Lauryn Hill can spit for 3 verses.
Andre doesn't have a doo-wop or a Lost Ones.
She can. Oh, I'm sorry. She has 3 songs like that. Because then there's Final Hour. As a matter of fact, and the hook work on those songs is phenomenal. And those are flawless victories. Finish Her.
And even her verse on Everything Is Everything.
Those are flawless victories.
Great verses. Reggie with the Super Chat says, we often talk about MCs that should stop when they pass their prime. When should producers stop making beats? Who do you feel needs to retire? Are y'all alluding to the fact that Premier needs to stop making beats? Come on, man.
Let's have this Rhapsody conversation, and then we can jump down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, because we're gonna finish talking about the album. Mean, we've named like 7 MCs already.
Yeah, we're at 7 actually.
Now I'm gonna be fair, and you know I'm a raw digger person. I think on an all-time level, just the work that's been put in by Rhapsody, I could see Rhapsody being ahead of Digger.
Okay.
I don't prefer her over Digger, but I could see, you know.
I was about to say, so Bahamadia, Jean Grey, same thing. Rhapsody's ahead of them?
Ooh, yeah, I guess so, but I prefer them over Rhapsody.
Okay. Yeah. Nicki Minaj.
Nicki's over her.
Okay. I'm cool with that. Meg. Hold on, never mind, because Meg is part of a current conversation, so let's stop right there for a second.
Okay.
We have anybody else that we need to slide in here anywhere that you can think of?
What do you guys say in the chat?
Like Yo-Yo. Is Yo-Yo better than Rhapsody?
I got love for Yo-Yo. Very dope person. It would be tough for me to make that argument based on the material.
Okay. I'm just going in the area. Heather B.
Now she got Heather B. Again, I think it's a material thing. I want to know what people think about Missy, because Missy's always the elephant in the room when it comes to these things. And honestly, Missy's kind of like Future on this Southern list.
Nobody on this list is technically better than Missy, except for Lauryn Hill. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of, sort of, in a sense.
I'll say this. And you know me, I'm a big Missy fan. Oh, they said Lady of Rage. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Ooh, see?
Because I do think Lady of Rage has more classic moments. I think bar for bar, Lady of Rage is the better MC.
She's got Afro.
I think it's just the longevity part of it, which would hurt Rage, but I'm still putting Rage ahead of her.
Gatman and Robin?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's a Primo track, by the way.
Yeah, Primo did a lot of work with Lady of Rage. Jay Shore with the super chat says the Brat gave her best material to JD and Bow Wow. Missy.
And Chris Cross.
I'm going to say this, man. You know I'm a big Missy fan. Missy's biggest claim to fame in this conversation is creativity. And it's not really quote-unquote bar work. You know, because anybody else saying he, how might not, you know, go off the way that it did with Missy. Or even when she was, you know, putting the thing down, flipping and reverse it and all that stuff. Like, she's just kind of a different being in that way.
I told you it's different. It's a different sphere of music that her and Tim was making.
We got Mia X in this thing.
Okay. Ooh, interesting. I think, see, Rhapsody wins that catalog thing, too, you know, with her. Yeah. Same thing with
Mia X would out-rap. I think Mia X would out-rap Rhapsody, but yeah, it's the catalog thing.
I'm not certain of that, but I would like to see that. Gangsta Boo and LeChat kind of suffer the same fate as Mia X.
Y'all know me, man. I love Gangsta Boo, man. I think Gangsta Boo is probably the most underrated female MC in hip-hop.
Even with that being said, Mike, she doesn't have
even
a fair
with that
argument.
being said, it'll make it really hard for me as a super 3-6 fan and Gangsta Boo fan. It'll make it hard for me to make that argument. So I'll give Rhapsody that one too. Okay. Unknown Name says Rhapsody is not top 20 female MC. She is uninspiring. Well, I guess I'm not as crazy as I thought.
What did we say about Rage? Is Rage ahead of
I'll put Rage ahead. I mean, she got like.
She got a lot of work.
Yeah, man.
She's been a part of a lot of seminal work. She's on the Chronic and Doggy Style.
Chronic and Doggy Style, yeah.
She's on
That's
above the
seminal shit, man.
Hold on.
And you know what? And like I said, with the whole Rhapsody being on the Pimp a Butterfly, she's not memorable on there like Rage is on the Chronic and Doggy Style.
I mean, how about this? Think about it. Rage starts off Doggy Style.
Exactly.
Rage in effect.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She got Afro Puffs.
She got Afro Puffs. I still love Afro Puffs. Afro Puffs is one of the best beats ever.
Well, you know what? We want to be like that. What Rhapsody got for Where Them Dollars At?
I was thinking about that, but here's the thing about it. That is Gangsta Boo's moment. That and probably Chicken Head, and after that it's Rhapsody.
Well, that's Chad on Chicken Head. Gangsta Boo not even on that.
I keep forgetting that. It is right. That is Chad on Chicken Head. Yeah. You don't want to do that to either one of them. They don't have enough for her.
Well, I would say that other than Where Them Dollars At, Boo's standout moment is definitely Tear the Club Up.
Okay, so right now, based on how we have it,
they said no love for Charlie Baltimore? No. I got a quick story before you go into what you were going to say. Yeah. When I first heard the Rough Riders Anthem remix, that was the first time I ever heard Eve. I remember hearing Eve on there, and I was like, damn, Charlie Baltimore is snapping. I thought it was Charlie. It's a Philly thing. You heard that they did Brooklyn's Finest over together. Eve and Charlie Baltimore. It was pretty dope.
Philly's Finest? Philly's Finest.
So they were going
back I remember that. No, that was hard, actually.
Yeah. What were you about to say?
So if we were to pause right now, Rhapsody would be at number 10 on our all-time list.
And we haven't even gone into today.
I was about to say, because not in any order, we got Kim, Foxy, Da Brat, Eve, Light, Latifah, Lauren, Nicki, Rage. Hold on, let's stop for a second. What say you about Roxanne Shante, you know?
Again, I think it's more of a material thing, and I hate to do that, you know. Obviously, Roxanne Shante has the skills and, you know, is a pioneer in that way, but it's just, you know, it wouldn't be fair to Rhapsody with the amount of work that she's put in catalog-wise to, you know.
No, I feel you. I'm just trying to get everybody covered properly.
No, definitely. And anybody in the chat, make sure that make sure we're not forgetting any names. Put up whatever names you think we're forgetting.
Like Boss from Detroit, probably not enough either. You remember Boss? Mm-hmm. Boss album was hard.
Well, see, you know what? I think that's the thing, too, because honestly, would I rather listen to Moni Love over Rhapsody? Yes. But see, I don't know what happened somewhere down the lines of hip-hop where our women in hip-hop just don't get the ability to have the elongated catalogs that the male MCs get to have.
We get them for an album or two, Mike, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
Like Lil' Kim having the career that she had, that's groundbreaking.
no one really has the catalog that Kim, Nicki, and Missy have, like on the mainstream level at all.
Wasn't even possible before really Kim did it.
Yeah, you're right. Kim's like the first one to really have that catalog. We could say Salt and Pepper as a collective, but as a solo artist, yeah.
Like, Light has what? I mean, even to this day, Light still only did what? Maybe 4 solo albums?
Yeah, something like that. By the time that Kim got to Naked Truth and deep in those areas, it was like, yo, this is kind of uncharted water.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Naked Truth, Labella Mafia, like all that. It's like, yeah, no. Hadn't no rap female been relevant enough to extend herself like that she deserved in the media and in our eyes.
And it wasn't considered like a comeback type situation.
No, it was like, no, that's Kim.
Yeah. Man with the super chat says Rhapsody out raps a lot of dudes. Her bar work. Well, give me an example. What song?
So do these women. About? So do these other women. Like, I get tired of dudes saying that.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think.
First of all, these women that I named are better than like 80% of the guys who ever rapped too.
Like, who had the best verse on Lean Back? Let's just keep it above.
That's Remy.
Exactly. Nas the GOAT says, what about Lisa Left Eye Lopez? Again, it's another material thing.
I feel like, I'd prefer to hear Left Eye.
Me too. Of course. Rhapsody doesn't have a verse like Left Eye has on Waterfalls or the Darnell Jones remix.
Look, do you know what's up? Or Switch.
No. Even if we want to go to Ladies Night.
Ladies Night verse is pretty tough.
Jay Short with the super chat says, what Rhapsody do that Jean Grey hasn't? I think Ladybug Mecca was better too. I think now we're talking about people that we personally like more, but again, that's what my whole point is.
I think that's part of Mike's point.
Our man with the super chat, and I'm going to let you go. He says, Peace Brothers, did y'all check out the Beats, Rhymes, and Lists of the greatest rap storytelling songs? No, I Ain't Mad at You, No Cream, and No Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Very problematic. Shaking my head. We'll check that out because, we got to check these publications when they get off the grid.
Who did that?
Who did he say did that? He said Beats, Rhymes, and Lists. And It's About Time said, damn, no Trina love? I never thought Trina was dope, and I'm just going to be honest.
Ooh, we can add Trina to the list, but she's not better than Rhapsody. But thanks for pointing out Trina. I like Trina. You know how I feel about Be Alright, The Baddest? No, she has some stuff. You didn't like The Baddest? With Warren
from a skill set point of view, I never thought Trina got any better. I thought when her and Silk the Shocker made that record together, perfect collaboration of
that was very problematic.
Two of the weaker MCs from both sides collaborating. I'm just being real, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like she was dope. Like, but anyway, I listen to Ladies Night now. I think that Left Eye might have had the best verse on Ladies Night.
I actually agree with you on that. I feel like Missy stole the show, though.
Of course. But back in the day, just based on the rap's flow.
Is Missy. The best moment is Missy, but the best bar work is Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Yes. Yeah.
With ease.
Let's go to modern day times. So, what say you? I think right now, Che Noir in first place, right?
Ooh, somebody said Shauna. Shauna was dope. And once again, another tragedy of not having the material. Now, if we talk about somebody just on raw ability and skills, Shauna's tough. Skills. And Shauna also showed that she had the ability to make songs with What's Your Fantasy, Stand Up, some of the stuff she made with Luda. She had everything. I
don't disagree. I do not disagree. So let's pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people have kind of quibbled and squabbed with the way that Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown did things when they came in, which is a formula thereby people like Nicki Minaj, and now you can even see it in Lotto, have picked up.
Yeah.
Are you listening to the list of casualties of what has happened to all these dope-ass female MCs? Because what you should really hear in all of this, because we are saying way too much, well, she didn't get an opportunity. This ain't Mike. This isn't like in the '60s. This is like when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
If this shit is happening,
I never understood the Shauna thing, man.
It's so. Hold on. So
Shauna's ceiling was high.
So for 2.5 years, I've been coming up. Well, not 2.5, but over 2 years and some change now. I've been coming up here and talking about just how inherently misogynistic and problematic the hip hop industry is. When we're listing off these female MCs, you can hear it because, to be honest with you, what's keeping these women from being even like in the all-time great conversation between women and the all-time great conversation in general is the ability to
put records
make
out.
The material. Yeah. Because the people who have made the material, we hold motherfucking high.
Exactly.
We hold Lauryn Hill high, and we just might, because we just named 3 songs off, like, you know, because it's like, well, shit, you got another female that can rhyme like that on 3 records? Because we don't get enough.
Nicholas says, what about Dreezy? Dreezy's dope, too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's very problematic.
And I think I saw somebody say something about what problem do we have with Jean Grey. I love Jean Grey. I think Jean Grey's super dope.
I don't love Jean Grey, but she's super dope.
Yeah. Lady Luck is another one. Nice. Lady Luck's another one that had abilities. I like Lady Luck, but we don't have a catalog.
Jean Grey? Didn't Jean Grey and Lady Luck get into a battle?
Didn't Remy and Lady Luck get into a battle?
Remy won that, I heard, right?
You know what people say that? I thought Lady Luck won, but hey.
Some people feel that way too.
Hey, go back and look at it on YouTube. I mean,
Luck was nice too. That's
Luck
what I'm saying.
Nice.
So don't tell me that this industry isn't like misogynistic, because the reality of the matter is that, like, man, we should even have more MC Lyte and Queen Latifah albums than we got, Mike. Like, so right. They can submit themselves more. A lot of the reason why Kim is the standard is about what you said, Mike. She's the female that they got to see make material. Well, who are you going to copy if you're a woman? You're going to copy the one that's actually getting to, like, put out albums every 2-3 years, like, with a budget and a layout and press and media and, like, the whole fucking deal. And so when people are like, why is little Kim in this little purple shit, like, with her titty out? It's like, well, nigga, that motherfucker's getting to make 5 or 6 albums. What about the people before her?
Dude,
like,
the fanfare for Kim's sophomore album, Notorious K.I.M., it's probably the best rollout I've ever seen for a female MC's sophomore album. You know what I mean? Like, people were ready for her to come back.
The pink posters with her in the jeans and like this was everywhere.
Everywhere. And I'm trying to think, who's had something like that on their follow-up? Had it like that. Maybe Nicki did.
Had it like that. No, Nicki never had it like that, Mike.
You know, I think we're seeing that with Megan right now. Because Megan can rap.
#1 rapper press.
No, for real. I think we're seeing that with Megan now. Because Megan can rap.
No.
And Megan, I'm talking about the fact that
not like that.
Her follow-ups aren't being heralded in the way that they should be. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing Megan get treated like every other female has been treated. You were hot for that moment, and then when you're trying to come back, then it's kind of like, dialing it down.
Yeah, we're done with you.
That's what it seems like. And it's sad because Megan can rap.
No, that's what I mean. Look at somebody like MC Lyte, who had to make Roughneck and then had to go make Cold Rocker Party and keep on keeping on just to,
to make herself. Yeah.
And those songs are dope to me, by the way. All those songs are dope records.
They're dope, but it sounded like Lyte was trying to latch on to what was going on.
I like Keep On Keeping On.
Maybe I think it's a good song.
Yeah, it's a good record.
Liberian Girl sample, can't go wrong with
Liberian Girl sample. It hits hard. This Liberian Girl sample shit hit hard.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "Women be feeling Trina though, so we may not get it." That's a good point. Maybe it's just not for me.
Hold on, the Dr. Guillory that I often reference from the whole Black Love is Tenuous conversation and all that. She's from New Orleans, but she used to reference Trina and how much she loved Trina too. Trina is empowering to a lot of Black women.
Okay.
Yeah.
DeCarlo says, "What about Cash Doll? I like Cash Doll a lot."
That's what I'm saying. I like Cash Doll too, actually, Mike. We were talking about Cash Doll, I believe, we had a day on this show where we talked about Cash Doll for a minute and like what she was doing. Let's get back to today's list right quick.
Well, Nas the GOAT is getting on your list. He says, "Is Shay Noir top 10, or is it too early to call?"
Shay Noir,
what say you?
Like all time?
Because right now, like you said, everything that we have listed, we got Rhapsody at 10. So
that's why we need to do today's list.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it. Let's put it fairly and properly and objectively into context, because you might be making very, very strong points. Well, let's place those points. Evidence. So right now we got her at 10, and that 10 is really subjective to the fact that a lot of the people that we have below her we think are better than her, but weren't giving the opportunity to make the material the way that she did. Correct?
Well, some of the people that we thought were better than her, we still gave her precedence over because she has the material. So I think everybody.
That's what I'm saying. But like we should, because it's because she's done the work. You can't discredit the work that somebody's done, and you can't add credit for somebody that didn't get that work, even though the opportunities were of the misogynistic and this is rap is a tough culture for women.
Somebody says Eminem ever put on a woman rapper.
Next. Okay, so we got Shay Noir at number 1 right now today, right?
Yeah. Okay, so who you got, Rhapsody or Shay Noir at this point?
I got Shay.
Well, that bumps Rhapsody out of the 10.
Not all time. That's why I said today. We're talking all time. Rhapsody's at 10. I'm talking about today. Who do you have? And we need to discuss if somebody from today has the catalog to be placed above Rhapsody to remove her from that top 10 spot. Is really what the conversation needs to be.
Yo, Hassan Sykes says Pastor Troy don't get no love, guys. What are we doing? I got Pastor Troy on my list. That was part of today's agenda. We're going to get into Troy too. Just walk with us. Take some time. Give us some time. We're going to get to it. I crossed out Jeezy for Pastor Troy at 25. Yeah, somebody said that. Yeah. And there's a meaning behind that too.
Very problematic.
Okay, so you said we're going today, right? Shay Noir. Right now and today you got her over Rhapsody.
Right.
What about Megan?
I would still take Rhapsody over Megan. What say you?
I got Megan over Rhapsody.
Okay.
I'd rather listen to Lotto over Rhapsody too. I know it's really controversial, but
I don't agree with that. I can't give you that off one album, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see the potential though. I see and I think she's going to have that ceiling. And you're right. We can't give it to her off of one album at this point, right?
If was a fifth.
Right. We're just gonna have to see, and really, that's more of a prediction as opposed to a declaration. Because at this point, when you talk about today, we've actually seen like a real big push and a lot of women being able to get their voices out there over the last 5 years or so, right? So even with that being said, Rhapsody has a good 6 or 7 years on that class. So she's already going to be a little bit ahead of the curve anyway.
Well, I'm going to try to point out something, too. That's why I kind of asked to separate the list for a second, too.
Okay.
So where are we going after that? Love?
Again, I like Love as an MC better, but she doesn't,
Actually,
she got a catalog now.
I'm about to say, she actually does have enough material to make this a conversation, actually. Because she has put out multiple, she has more than 2 projects. She has 3 or 4, maybe 5 projects.
Yeah.
No, that's enough to be a conversation.
Shay Noir and Love are really, really dope. And we're going to get to the other one as well, Amani Caesar. And Amani Caesar doesn't have a lot of projects, but to me, the Liz, I listened to the Liz this morning. I was like, man, this shit sounds just as good, if not better, than when I first heard it.
Liz is dope.
And really, man, and y'all talking about Preem, and we're going to get back to the Preem album.
Simply Done.
Simply Done is crazy. I think that's the best. That's one of my favorite Premier tracks over the past 5 years that I could think of.
That's top 5. That's top 5. Matter of fact, the Joey Badass beat is probably the best beat since that beat. When is that? That beat's 3 years old now, though, right?
That was 2020.
I feel like that was. I feel like really was that 2020?
Yeah, it was 2020. Yep.
Wow, time flies.
Time does fly. But you know what? The thing about Simply Done is the fact that just based on the appearance and the way that they were marketing Amani, you wouldn't think that she would jump on a Premier track. And when she jumped on the Premier track, her and Benny, they killed it.
No, I loved it. But one song and one album is not enough to put
It's not enough.
ahead of Rhapsody, or these other women could possibly be ahead of Rhapsody. So she's kind of in Lotto's category where it's like, well, I see it and it's right there, but it hasn't happened yet, and we're here today discussing it.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I think the best way to put
I prefer Armani to Rhapsody too, just in all honesty, but objectively speaking, overall.
I understand what you're saying, and you're right, and we got to be fair on that light. But this is what I'm saying. As a consumer and as a hip-hop fan, if they said, yo, Armani, Mulatto, or Lotto, and Rhapsody are all dropping on Friday, I'm going to listen to it in that order. I'm listening to Armani's album first.
Yes.
I'm listening to Lotto's album, and then I'll get to the Rhapsody album.
No, I'm going Armani, Rhapsody, Lotto, but I'm
not mad at that. Michael Holmes with the super chat says, Boosie Badass and Soulja Slim, legends. DeCarlo says, I may be uneducated, but what about a mill? Y'all trying to be funny, right? Dumb It Down says, Rhapsody writes her rhymes. Some of the others don't. Okay, we can get to that elephant in the room as well.
Ooh. Hold on. Okay.
Nas the Goat says, what about Young M.A., fellas? We can get to that. Yeah, what about Young M.A.?
Where's Young M.A.'s projects at? Outside of the freestyles and just the song drops that we get intermittently.
I think it's a material thing,
Once again,
not
material. We going around to this material thing because it's who wants to get behind this openly gay, braggadocious, gay woman?
Okay, can I say something that might be controversial in this? And I don't want us to get knocked off of YouTube or anything.
Well, then don't get us knocked off of YouTube.
I think Young M.A. has a WNBA problem.
Just stop the show. Stop the show.
I'm just saying.
So, no, I want
out. It's a WNBA problem.
This nigga right here. Oof. Go ahead, Mike.
It's difficult to market. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta look at it when we talk about, and when I say WNBA, because we talk about basketball and hip hop all the time, right? Who's watching basketball? Men. Right? Who's listening to rap music at that, to that barometer? There are women that listen to rap heavy, but it's mostly a male audience. Right? And
have we made this space comfortable for women to want, because music and sports are different. Because of genetic predisposition, you are more likely to be entertained by the athletic feats of a man than a female.
Well, see, I feel
this is chess over here. No. This is chess. This is of the mind, and women have beautiful minds. And so this is more fair ground and territory. Has the territory been staked and claimed in a fair manner to make the spaces comfortable for the population, thereby to reflect it?
I understand what you're saying in that light, but I think the problem's a little bit deeper than that because tennis doesn't have that issue.
No, the problem is we some niggas though.
Exactly.
Right.
So why is men
daughter plays
So why as men do we watch women's tennis and we don't watch the WNBA at that same rate?
Okay, so for me, as somebody who's a big tennis fan, my daughter was in the USTA Academy once upon a time. We play. I'm a big tennis fan, male and female. The game is marketed properly and always has been on both sides fairly for the good majority of my adult life. And I want you to understand that Billie Jean King in Title IX, that's 70s right before we're born, Mike.
Right.
Serena and Venus have not only been champions, but they've been really big in changing the pay rate and the pay scale and making it more fair and making it more inclusive. And what you're really seeing is you are seeing more women of color now and biracial equalities who have picked up tennis rackets and played because Serena and Venus have taken what Billie Jean King started and made it more fair and open and comfortable spaces for those women. We have to do the same thing for women on an inherent basis in hip hop before we can say, well, it's like, well, men mostly listen to hip hop. Well, it's like, well, if we call them bitches and hoes all the time, maybe there's a good portion of that don't want to hear that motherfucking shit.
No, and you know what? And honestly, in hip hop, there's a lot of options of what you can listen to, and you know what you want to hear. And if you want to hear these type of messages, there are artists for that. There's artists for all kind of stuff in hip hop now, especially with the internet being what it is. I do think that, you know, back to the Young M.A. thing, it's a very interesting dichotomy because we didn't even consider Young M.A. I mean, there are some names that we missed out, but even when people were mentioning names on the side, it took for a minute for us to even get to that name. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, is she even, I know it's going to sound controversial, but is she even considered to be a female MC at the top of our mindset? Because obviously none of us thought about it. When the person brought it up, I'm like, oh yeah.
I classify her as a gay woman. She's still a woman.
Okay. Jay Show with the super chat says, honorable mention to Dage Love too. I like Dage Love. But again, I think it's a material thing. Not enough. Game says, a shout out to the game. Says, check out Ciroc. She won't disappoint. No, of course not.
Is it Ciroc or is it Ciroc?
It's Ciroc.
Right.
Yeah, not Ciroc like the drink. Yeah, it's Ciroc. No. Mad Max says, Lil Sims is better than Rhapsody. That album last year, to me, is the best female rap album I've heard, other than when I listened to MC Lyte. I like that album a lot too. I may be an introvert.
To me though. I don't even
know what? When I passed you, I may be an introvert because my guy Mark put me onto it. Shout out to Mark right out there. I just knew you were gonna love it too. And when you said you weren't really thrown by it, I was like, wow.
It was good. It was good.
Mad Max says she does, Mike. Young M.A. is Brittany Griner. She's not a female rapper, but to me, she's a male rapper stuck in a female's body. See, I'm
not here for these conversations.
I don't. But you know what? I'll just say this. All that confusion is probably why she's tougher to classify in that way. And maybe we need to get to a point where, like Love the Genius said, where we don't even classify female rappers anymore. I don't know.
Well, let's get somewhere because I'm trying to get somewhere. I have an overall point that I'm making because when you told me this about Rhapsody, I started thinking about a couple things, and I'm gonna share them in a minute. Right now, we have Che Noir, Megan, and Love in this era ahead of Rhapsody. Who else you got? Because Ciroc and Lil Sims are not ahead of Rhapsody. And neither is Armani or Lotta.
Potential's high.
Potential's high for all of them.
Okay.
We talking today.
Go over those names again.
We got Che, Megan, and Love ahead. We got Lotto, Armani, Ciroc, and Sims behind. So she would be fourth right now in this era.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
and enough. We haven't had a Remy Ma conversation. No. And listen, and we haven't had the Remy Ma conversation either. And where you would classify Remy from what era?
And I love Remy, and I think she got off on this record, but it's just not enough material. Once again.
So you got Rhapsody ahead of Remy too. I don't even know if I agree with that totally.
I mean, I have to. Rhapsody just has too much material. I think Eve will put her ahead of Remy alone. If we're being fair,
I think Remy maybe has done more material than you would realize, but I get what you're saying.
So what album though?
That's why I said I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult, and we even heard them both on this record. And
Remy's the superior MC. She always has been. Correct. Keep going. So
and that's my whole point with Rhapsody. There's a lot of people who don't have the catalog that Rhapsody has that are superior MCs, and that's why it kind of just, I don't know, man. It makes it tough.
So I think, and this is actually, it's kind of funny. So you would say fourth for this generation is fair, right?
I mean,
that's how it looks, right?
That's how it looks. I mean, some would say she's top 5 all time.
So let's pause for a second. Do you think Che Noir is better than her on an all-time basis?
I think she will be. It's too
Me
early to
too.
say that.
What about Megan?
I think she will be as well.
Is it still too early? Same thing with Love. So we're still putting Rhapsody at 10. But listen to what I'm trying
You
to
know
say.
what? It's interesting you say that about Megan. And the reason why I pause is because I don't really know. This Megan thing can go one or two ways. She can kind of fall off the face of the earth or continue. She's one record away from jumping to where she can be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you blow up so big, your ability to fall off becomes greater. You know what I mean? And I think at one point when she was doing the Tina Snow stuff, where she had her core market and she was serving that core market, if she could have kept doing that, then yeah, that trajectory would have leveled out and she would have had a stronger base. But right now, I feel like she's kind of under the gun where the next thing she drops has to be great, or at least connect rather, or she could fall off. You know what I mean? And that could just affect the overall thing. So yeah, I don't know when it comes to Megan. I mean, just guessing off of her abilities alone, I say that she will be, but if she ends up falling off because of those things I just mentioned, I wouldn't be super surprised. It's tough to call.
And so you would probably say Love doesn't have enough yet to be placed fairly over Rhapsody. And I think Love has more material than Shay and Megan, if I'm not mistaken.
She has more than Shay. I don't know if Megan has a lot, honestly.
She does. Megan does have a lot. I think.
But okay. I do think that Love's ceiling is higher, and I think that Love is creating her base at a really good rate. And I think that she can do a lot of things, and she could diversify how she's putting out material and the crew that she has. Like, I think she has a really high trajectory, and I don't think she's gonna stop either. Like,
no. I agree with all those sentiments. And so, what I would tell you right now, after everything in our discussion, is Rhapsody is actually the victim and the benefactor of when she came along. You see. She's one of the people. She came along in a time where there really wasn't that many female MCs around, and being a female MC wasn't the thing unless you were Nicki Minaj. Okay.
Yeah, and she was the counter to what
She was the counterpart to that.
Yeah.
But being the counterpart to somebody like that, because of the times had changed, enabled her to amass a catalog.
Yeah.
And so what you're finding, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, she kind of got lost in the female rap struggle a little bit. Well, she's not of this era with the women we just named: Shay, Megan, Love, Lotto, Armani, Cyrock, Lil Sims. She's not part of their era, but to be honest with you, she's not part of Remy's era. Or Lauren, Latifah, Light, Eve, The Brat, Foxy Brown, Lil Kim. You know what I mean? Freeman.
I mean, with that being said, though, is it somewhat of an indictment that she doesn't put out more material in a very material-heavy era, in an era where, like you said, there's a rush of we got a lot more female MCs than we've ever had. So wouldn't this be the era where she would put more material out?
How about this? If you want to get, how about this? And you know this about me, Mike. I'm competitive. So for somebody like me that's watching the way that some of these other young ladies that have come along, while I've been in the game about a decade now, and in the last 3-4 years, the way that they're putting projects out, like the way Love makes projects, like Love has done about 4 projects in about 3.5-4 years, if not lesser time than that, you know what I mean? Or around that time. So it's like, if I see a female working at that pace and I'm competitive and this is what I mean. I had this conversation on the previous podcast about how women get aged out in entertainment fast. I just had this conversation and I talked about how they do actresses in Hollywood when you hit a certain age. They're like, hold on, no more hot girl roles, mom role. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is what I mean. It happens fast. Look at Buster's Best I Can. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, they're like, well, what female C you got for that? It's like, well, you can't call Armani or Lotto or Sims for that grown ass song right there. You feel me?
Right.
Love and Shay may not be ready for that song yet either, even though their kind of content is maybe grown enough for it.
I think they could, but I think the
maybe
Rhapsody.
Che. I could see Che maybe. I could see Che on there maybe.
Yeah,
but that's
definitely.
Buster too. That's Buster too on ELE 2. That's not like, I'm not saying they're not ready for a big moment, but that is Front Street.
Right.
And Rhapsody has been on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
That's the call to make. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So she has credentials. And so what you can say is that, like, she's done some things with her opportunity. Maybe it's not maximized the opportunity. Right now, she is literally a top 10 female MC all time, but she is number 10. In 5 years, she's not going to be number 10, Mike. And she is
as
probably...
it stands, unless we get... and again, the Eve album can be one of the best female MC albums that we've ever heard, right?
Yes.
And it still can be true that she doesn't end up top 10. I mean, that, again, we didn't have Rod Digger in that top 10 that we just named. And to me, Dirty Harriet is my favorite female rapping CD ever, album ever. Mad Max with the super chat says, Coop, you're lying to yourself if you think that the WNBA is as good as the NBA. LOL. There's a clear difference in the talent. It's not about marketing. I'm the one that said it's a marketing thing. I honestly enjoy watching the WNBA, but I also enjoy watching college basketball too. It's fundamental basketball.
No. I didn't say that. I mean, Mike is talking about the ability to market the product.
Yeah, I think that the WNBA from a skill set,
they're more fundamentally sound than a lot of the guys. Yeah, from a fundamental standpoint, the women are more fundamentally sound than a lot of the guys.
Great shooting, everything.
But that's neither here nor there. I was speaking more of the perspective of, we just don't play fair as guys sometimes in certain spheres, and entertainment and sports happen to be those spheres where we don't play fair. And what we find is in sports where there's more fairness and inclusion for women, things change. Like the prize money for women at Wimbledon now is almost equal, if not equal, to what the man makes. You know what I'm saying? That's fair.
I think that also speaks to the product on the court in that, in that sense.
No, but
well.
this is what
because
I'm talking about.
Because if we sit there and watch, Serena and Martina, that was too low. I'm talking about even when Serena and Venus go against each other, it's so many great tennis players out there where we're watching this. And
this is what I mean about always making
deals and everything.
Well, see, here's what I mean about making the spaces comfortable and open is that, Billie Jean King, fights for Title IX, and she does, celebrity matches with male players to kind of create a lane where these two girls from Compton can come along, and it turns out they're better than everybody else out there, and they start whooping ass. And they also are socially aware, and it starts inciting some change. And so now you have people like Naomi Osaka and Madison Keys. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't start like in one place. It starts with the openness and the inclusion. The quality of the product does matter. I'll tell you what.
And it improves over time anyway. Like you said, as more doors open, it continues to improve.
Well, no, the quality does matter too, but you have to be encouraging of the quality. Two of my three favorite tennis players of all time are women. My three favorite players of all time are Steffi Graf, Rafael Nadal, and Serena Williams. Two of those players are women. In my opinion, Serena Williams and Steffi Graf are the two greatest players that I've ever seen pick up a tennis racket.
I think it could be argued that Serena Williams is possibly the greatest athlete of the 2000s. It's either her, LeBron, or Tom Brady.
She won a major with a baby in her body.
Yeah. She's incredible.
She won a major with a baby in her body.
Ryan Gillum with the super chat says, so Rhapsody, Lotto, Meg, Shay, Drizzy, and Armani are the Serena and Venus of rap.
No. See, what I'm saying is that you have an era. So, look at it like this. Let's contextualize it. You have somebody like Latifah and Light, and that crop. They're more like a Billie Jean King, okay? They're not Billie Jean King wasn't looked upon as a beautiful female tennis player. You feel what I'm saying? Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown are kind of like a Chris Evert. You know what I mean? Oh, no. She's pretty and she can play this game. That makes more girls want to play the game. And so that's where you see people like Nicki now pop up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the game is becoming more inclusive. And what I'm telling you is that, no, like Shay, Love, Armani, that's what I was saying. Oh, we've never seen three females like this, just like we've never seen, like in a team, just like we've never seen anything when Venus and Serena started stepping on the court when they were 17 and 15.
Gotcha.
And so this is a moment and potential tipping point for females and how females are perceived. Like when I heard Che Noir's album, I'm like, this is great. I was like, because in a year where Nas and Black Thought are dropping, I'm pretty certain I have to talk about a female when I talk about their albums dropping in relationship to where it ranks in terms of album of the year contention. Those are the type of conversations that change things, just like when Serena can serve just as fast as Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, and serve actually better and more accurately than them. It makes people kind of go like, hold up, wait, right. What? Right.
You're and not so sectioning it off anymore. Yeah.
Right. That's kind of happening right now. What happens is the people like Rhapsody, they're in that middle era. They kind of just get phased out.
But I think that, you know what, to be fair, I think Rhapsody kind of probably influences people like the Che Noirs of the world. Absolutely. And open up that door where it's like, you know what, like you said with the whole Billie Jean King thing where it's like, you know what, I can do this too. JB was here, says, True Honey Buns, you know how we do, 3 the Hard Way. I love all 3 of those records.
There we go.
You know how we do is my shit.
I was thinking 3 the Hard Way.
3 the Hard Way was the shit too. Jay Short with the super chat says, Rhapsody is Carmelo Anthony, talented Hall of Famer, multiple All-Stars, and I don't remember any of it. Oh my God. Melo's my guy too. LP with the super chat says, Rhapsody sounds like she used to be a librarian. LP always comes with the super chats. Man Nan says, Rhapsody is getting penalized for not selling sex. I don't think that's what we're saying.
I'm not penalizing it. No. I'm not penalizing it at all. I'm actually saying she's actually at number 10 because she got to make the albums that other women didn't get to make. But now the game is changing, and we got some Serena and Venuses walking around. Like, how about this? Steffi Graf knew when it was time to retire. Like, she started seeing what Venus and Serena were doing. Like, when she beat Martina Hingis and then she started watch how Venus and Serena started whooping Martina Hingis ass, Steffi was like, no, can't fuck with these girls. You feel me? And I'm not saying that's necessarily happening for Rhapsody. I'm saying that's how the game changes and transitions. And we have some opportunities. Like that album Che put together, that's pretty special, Mike.
It is. I agree. Mad Max of the super chat says, hold on, Meg is a one-trick pony. She been done. JT better than Megan. No way she's Rhapsody. Get out of here. Fever is her last great joint. I liked Fever a lot.
I prefer Rhapsody to Megan, just personally.
And I'm not mad at that. The Raisin Head says, until we hold women as accountable for ghostwriters as we do men, they would never be equal. It's our fault, not theirs. Nas is from Rock Hill. LOL. You know what? Let's talk about the ghostwriting thing, too, once I get past these super chats. Eric Terrell says, females listen to SZA and Summer Walker. That's their trap music. And men don't listen to hardcore female rap without a male MC on the track. Megan better find somebody.
Fascinating.
Mad Max says, Love's not Rhapsody either, but Rhapsody doesn't have a lot of work. Don't she got like 3 albums, but Love ain't Rhapsody. This is crazy. Let's see. And let's talk about this ghostwriting thing. Raisin Head says, lower the rim. They already with smaller balls. I guess that was towards the WNBA. Okay, what about this whole ghostwriter thing, right?
No.
And we do have a situation in hip hop where not only is it okay for many people for a female MC to have a ghostwriter, but to some extent it's almost expected, which I think, to me, that's chauvinistic. Where we hear a female MC rhyming great, we automatically assume, not we, but a lot of people will automatically put that notion out there like they got a ghostwriter. Any man that a woman is connected with they want to make that person the ghostwriter. Like if Megan's dating somebody he's writing for, you know what I mean? And
Like,
even what they used to do with Safari and Nicki, and I'm like, have y'all heard Safari rap? Don't do her like that.
Well, you want to know what? In all honesty, though, Mike, that's jumping down a whole nother rabbit hole, and we already jumped down the Rhapsody rap hole halfway into the Primo review.
Yeah,
and so, like,
we got to get to this Nas song. That might be a whole nother episode.
Right, that is like when we starting to talk about the females and the ghostwriting thing. That's literally a whole nother show.
Okay.
And we've already jumped down and sidebar like way deep into the Rhapsody rap hole because somebody woke up today not feeling Rhapsody anymore. All right, that's great. Thanks, Mike. All right.
I felt like being honest, man, and no. I think that Rhapsody clearly can make a dope album, and I'm looking forward to hearing more great stuff from her. But at this trajectory, or at this point, and at this point in time, she just hasn't really done it for me like that. And that's just me as a hip hop fan. And I know we talk about Vinyl Days with Logic. I think it's a similar thing.
What?
Because on a technical level, he did everything right. And you don't feel it, and I understand why you don't feel it, because honestly, I haven't played the record since it came out either. So
that's what I was trying to say about the whole I know you got soul comment.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the Primo review. So I would give that Joey Badass song a 5 out of 5. I would give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
We're moving to the Nas song.
Let's move to the Nas song. Let me get to this Mad Max Super Chat, and then we'll move on to the Nas song. He says, best athletes of the 2000s is Floyd Mayweather, the guy who's undefeated with the most world championships beat under his belt. World champs beat under his belt. I fuck with Floyd, so I'm with you on that. It's cool. I get it. That's tough to refute. Let's get to this Nas record. So we're getting mixed reviews from people. Thumbs up in the chat, man. I know y'all gave us some thumbs down for some of our takes just then, but it comes with the game. You know what I mean? Thumbs up in the chat. We're about to talk about this Nas record, Beat Breaks. Interesting enough that the song's called Beat Breaks, and Coop has always said that Nas is the best over break beats. I don't know if anybody in the room is listening and in the studio and coming up with concepts, but we appreciate the love, and you know what? We could add this to the list. I helped them come out with the Magic title. Coop has done something else. It slips me at this moment, but
the Pusha T album.
The Pusha T album. That's what it was. Yeah. You helped them reframe the Pusha T album the following week, where they separated the Kanye songs from the Pharrell songs. And now you've helped name the Premier and Nas record Beat Breaks. What did you think of the record?
I think I'm definitely not running up on Nas and Preem like I'm running up on Apple. Unlike Apple, Nas and Preem have given me stuff like Memory Lane, I Gave You Power, New York State of Mind, Represent. Nas is like, I could go on and on. On this track, first of all, I love how he takes the Smooth Criminal on Beat Breaks from It Ain't Hard to Tell.
Yeah.
Because when I actually made that comment, that's what I was talking about. It was like, well, he kind of like said it himself, what he is and what he does well. I told you, It Ain't Hard to Tell was really his. It Ain't Hard to Tell in Halftime were his only flex records. Yep. Where he really told you how dope he was, how nice he was.
And it's funny, those are the two first on the album, I believe, right? Well, I know Halftime was definitely early on, but I feel like It Ain't Hard to Tell was super early too.
Halftime dropped on the Zebrahead soundtrack.
That was 92, right?
Correct. And It Ain't Hard to Tell is the first single off of Illmatic, so correct.
And I've heard demos of It Ain't Hard to Tell where he sounds drastically different. So I'm sure that song was already in, its conception stage.
That had already been decided, right. And so this is true. Nas raps best on beat breaks and loops. He sounds fresh and young and hungry. This second verse on here, I thought was the second best verse on this album after Remy's verse. I love Remy's POV on that verse, man.
No. Remy got down on that. I mean, I think everybody on this album really understood the moment, right? Yeah. I like the record. I mean, people were going in like they didn't love it. I think where we're at right now, and, this is so wild to me, man. We're at a point right now that what Hit Boy and Nas are making is so dope, and their chemistry is so dope, that people are underwhelmed by a good Primo and Nas song. That's where we're at right now.
When does that ever happen?
That's where we're at right now. Because I feel like if this track would have dropped like after Life is Good per se, or right around that time or before it, people would be going crazy about it. But the fact that these guys just did Magic, KD2, and KD, everybody's like, this is cool.
You want to know what I thought about too? If you're a hip hop fan and you've had to listen to guys like me saying "Get Off My Lawn," and you didn't witness Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, Lost Tapes, Nas, and you are watching this run, you are probably pretty enthralled and possibly underwhelmed with this though, because lyrically speaking, just lyrically speaking, he's definitely not on Magic level, and he's borderline on KD2 level on here. Now listen to what he's never flowed better, Mike, than the way he's
I was about to tell you,
he's never flowed better.
I texted you earlier. I was like, Nas sounds good on it, and I was pointing out the second verse specifically. But even if people aren't totally floored by this, and maybe people are comparing this to previous Premier and Nas collaborations, I don't know. And you guys have already voiced your opinion about where y'all thought the production was on this EP, and it's wild because Premier, for a lot of people, is the greatest hip-hop producer ever, right? So y'all have already voiced the fact that y'all didn't love the production on here. But with all that being considered, I like where Nas is on this, and it makes me feel good about KD3, to be honest. He sounds...
I feel
this
great
is a good warm-up record.
That's how I feel. I feel invigorated behind this record because he sounds invigorated behind this record. Right. And also, too, and I say this, part of what makes him the greatest MC of all time in my estimation is the execution level that he provides on a record.
He sounds good,
Listen, this is called Hip-Hop 50 Volume 1. The song's called Beat Breaks, not Nas Go Lyrically Crazy. Get busy on the beat break beat.
He did his thing.
That's what you're supposed. Like, he's not supposed to be stealing the show. And I want people to understand this is like, whatever you may feel beat wise about this, whether you enjoy it or not, that's debatable. Conceptually, it's put together well because it's on some rap shit. Like,
I'm gonna say something, man, and it's wild. I just randomly listened to Echo the other day, right?
Echo's brilliant.
And when I first heard Echo, I loved it to the point where I was like, man, this is one of the best songs of the year.
You sent me Echo.
Yeah. And so after listening to it the other day, and maybe it's again, the KD2 and Magic effect. Yeah, I'm not as impressed with it as I was then. And I think that's what's going on here.
Like, you want to know why?
Because of Magic.
Magic and KD2.
Yeah.
No, I don't think people understand. It's like, no, like the guy that's rapping on Magic, that is the greatest MC of all time. Like rap wise.
Yeah.
Like ugly. Like the way he's talking. Yeah. Distorted faces, we kill each other.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Ugly Man, Marlon Wayne's in Living Color. Shit is ugly.
Mike Sean Williams with the super chat says, what y'all think about Wayne's verse with Slick Rick? I'm gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Let's get to the so what would you rate the Nas record? Because it's like I had the Joey at a 5, I had the Remy and Rap at a 4, I had the Nas at a 4.5.
I was gonna say 4. I think it's fair. I mean, I think it's a dope record.
I think the Remy and the Rhapsody is a 4. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's why the Nas joint's a 4.5. Like to me.
Is the Remy and Rap song a 4? I mean, I think that they're around the same. I think the beat on the Nas one is better, and Nas' second verse is one of the best verses on the whole album. But I think how Remy and Rhapsody got down on that record elevates that record, but I think the production on that record is lowering it.
So you still don't think it's a 4, even though Remy and Rhapsody up the ante?
I think they're both a 4.
Okay, you think they're both a 4 just for different reasons?
Yeah.
I got you.
LP with the super chat says, I agree with Coop. It's not better word for word than what's on Magic or KD2, but that's the standard that he's created over the past 3 years. Great for Lucy.
Well, also, too, this is what I'm saying is like, I love. Okay, when MC is in album mode, I don't want to hear their best bars. I want to hear their flows, their delivery, their voice, their hunger. That's why it's like, oh no, I'm excited. He sounds fresh. He sounds young. He sounds hungry.
Mm-hmm.
His flow's never been sicker than it's been on these last couple albums. Like, this is the best set of flows he's ever given us. Like,
he sounds comfortable on everything.
I was actually about to say, he sounds comfortable on everything the way Jay does on the Black album, the way Big does on Life After Death. Like, it's a supreme comfort level. It's not a regular comfort level.
And you know what? That's always been the knock on Nas, at least from my standpoint.
No,
obviously, him being the lyricist that he is and the writer that he is next level. But as far as like him sounding comfortable on a variety of things was always the knock. And I think now, like, you look at something like YKTV, it's like he sounds comfortable on everything.
No, people saying that was legitimate. Yeah. And so when you had Big and Jay, and then you had 50 come along, and it's like, oh, well, these guys are comfortable in everything. And Nas, no, those are valid claims. Mm-hmm. He's cleaned that up as remarkably well as an all-time great MC has. Think about it. He was all-time great without that. Right. And he went and, like, cleaned that up immaculately in the last 5 years to the point it's like, well, you hand him anything, he's going to sound dope on it. The biggest worry as a Nas fan about grabbing a Nas project was you being worried about how he was going to sound on certain beats because of the flows.
And I think that's what that whole narrative about him being a bad beat picker. It's not about him being a bad beat picker. It's him not sounding comfortable on certain styles of beats.
Right. And here's the thing. He would still pick those beats that he was uncomfortable on.
Yeah.
That would be the thing. It's not that he's a bad beat picker. I told you, it's like, no, the Flyest Angels off the Charlie Angel soundtrack, no, that's a dope-ass beat. That beat's not for Nas.
Yeah. Jason with the super chat says, my Magic vinyl just came in last week. 2021 album of the year and a certified classic. Don't let Rosenberg hear you say that. His flows, like on Hollywood Gangster, like his flow pattern, right? He's never rhymed comfortably like that on tracks like that before. Not so seamlessly. And
Lord jackets, wardrobe jackets. Too. I turned into a hoarder. I don't need more fashions.
We got to give Hit-Boy credit too, man. He came with it on all of this production. I love what they got going on, and I never thought I would see the day where a Hit-Boy and Nas partnership, for lack of a better term, has gotten people to think that a Nas and Primo collaboration is some mid. That's how well these guys are doing right now.
They're the new gang star.
Yeah, they are.
They are. Yeah.
Next song. Terrible Twos. Run the Jewels.
What did you decide? What did you think?
It was cool.
I feel like when I listened to this, I was like, Mike's not going to like this song.
What makes you say that?
This is the worst song. You think this is the worst song on the album, don't you?
I actually do. It's the most anticlimactic.
I knew you were going to say that.
Am I right?
You're right. It's the weakest song on the album. But I'm going to tell you just something insightful, maybe potentially about the song. It's the weakest song on the album. They got the closest thing that you're probably going to get to that 97, 98 Preem style of sound on this track. It sounds like So What's Up with a little bit of a faster of a BPM. Remember So What's Up, the B-side to You Know My Steez that didn't make the album?
Yeah. I vaguely remember it. I need to go back and listen to that record. I vaguely remember it, but I know what you're talking about.
So first of all, So What's Up should have been on the album. It just didn't really have a place on the album that brilliant. But just off the beat and like, you know.
LP's going crazy. He must like this song. He said it's better than the Joey shit.
It's no. You need to stop that.
I will say this, man. The Run the Jewels fans are hardcore.
They are.
And, you know, I like Killer Mike, and we're going to get to the Southern list in a minute, but I've never really been that big on the Run the Jewels collective.
I did put in my notes, I said, I see everyone has decided to rap their ass off on this project.
Yeah.
Which is Respect the Preem.
Yeah.
There's not a weak verse on this album.
It's not. I love it.
Or EP, I should say, because it's 5 songs. There's not a weak verse on this EP. Everybody, bar work. How about this? And this is what I'm saying. So Preem might be catching some flack today because Well, there are no weak bars on here, Mike. So any critiques that we're actually going to give are probably going to be about what?
The production, and as it should be, because it is his album, right? It's his album.
And it's the producer's album, right?
Yeah.
And so even though I thought that he laced Joey and Nas, it's like, no, the Run the Jewels thing sounds a little 1998-ish in a good way and in a bad way. That Remy and rap beat need to be better. And we can get to the Slick Rick and
Weezy. Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, I'm hearing Lost Tapes 3 news in the chat. True?
Very problematic. Not being put on this.
I cannot confirm nor deny or have any information, but maybe somebody in the chat does have information. If you have information in the chat, please let us know what's going on.
You niggas have all my social media information and nobody hit me up today and told me this at all. It's very problematic that you hit me up about a variety of things, but you don't tell me these things.
So what would you rate this on? 3.5 out of 5?
Okay, so I don't know how to objectively rate this song because I was just happy as hell that Slick Rick was rapping over a DJ Premier.
No, I was talking about the Run the Jewels record.
Oh, I didn't know how to rate it, but I was giving that a 3.5.
Okay. Old Badly with the super chat says Run the Jewels 2 is a classic. All their projects are dope. Okay. Listen, again, it's one of those things too where it's like I can acknowledge that this is dope shit, but it's not like shit that I'm riding around listening to.
Correct. All their projects are above average. If you told me the first one and the second one were classics, I wouldn't deny that to you. I prefer 2 over 1 as well. 2 is the best one in my opinion too.
And I think that it's always a strange thing when you have somebody who is as prominent as Killer Mike and as notable as Killer Mike in a city like Atlanta, and you have a collective like Run the Jewels that has made its impact and has the fan base it has, and Atlanta does not play any Run the Jewels stuff. So it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard any Run the Jewels stuff in Atlanta? Ever. And I'm not just talking about radio. I'm talking about
period. Run the Jewels gets no run in the A. Yeah.
And so maybe I'm clouded by that. I don't know. But I could see people outside of the city. They might get more. They might be one of those groups or acts that gets more support outside of their respected hometowns than they do in their hometowns. And maybe that's what, some of the people who are saying what they're saying are, experiencing. But yeah, it's kind of tough to really measure it when it's like, man, you're right here in Atlanta, you're Killer Mike, you're that notable and that big in the city and that important to the city, and Run the Jewels gets no burn. Ed with the super chat says the album would have benefited more with the old school rap legend like the G-Rap, Rakim, LL, MC Lyte, Missy, etc. He just threw Missy in there. Jay Short says Run the Jewels should change to run its course. Y'all are wild. What were you gonna say, Coop?
One of the beautiful things about this project is actually the balancing act that he did with time. So with Slick Rick, you literally have your 85 to 90. Well, Nas is your 91 to 95.
Yep.
Remy is your 2001 to 2005. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Wayne, you can put Wayne in anywhere.
I was gonna say Wayne is everything, and Joey is literally today.
And Joey is today.
And Rhapsody is right before that. Yeah.
I'm about to say, and Rhapsody is right before that, and Run the Jewels is in that 2010 to 2016 gap too.
Yep.
So it's Hip Hop 50 Volume 1. Well, he got some 85 to 90 nigga for you. He got a 90 to 90. He got a 91 to 96 nigga for. No, like that's what I'm saying. No, Preem thought about this even with putting the songs together, because I bet you some of these songs got done at different times. It's not like he went and reached out to these people specifically.
Yeah.
No, he's been putting this together. So,
let's talk about this last song then.
Yeah.
Slick Rick and Wayne, the root of it all.
Well, it's Slick Rick and DJ Premier, and I'm just biased. So it's like I hadn't heard it, and I've been wanting to hear it for a long time.
Right.
And I know it's too late.
Have we heard Wayne and Premier?
Nobody's talking about that right now, Mike. We're talking about Slick Rick, my hero.
No, but I'm just saying, all of these things are new, and just that whole combination of Wayne and Rick on the same record. Slick Rick and Premier, Wayne and Premier is
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I thought this was the risk of the album. I thought this was the gamble. I thought this was a sneaky move and the surprise, and I enjoyed it.
I did too. I think Wayne really got off.
I like this record.
You know, Slick Rick's always been one of my favorites.
I said, oh shit. I said, it's Slick Rick and Primo. I've been waiting literally my whole adult life.
Before I got sophisticated enough to really go back and understand what Rakim was talking about in the 80s, growing up, Slick Rick was always my favorite rapper from the 80s.
It's everybody's favorite rapper.
And you know, at this point, obviously, he's number 2 because Rakim's number 1 for me. But, yeah, Slick Rick has always been one of my favorites. And anytime that he gets on any record, any album, any collaboration soundtrack, whatever, or compilations, the word I was looking for, he changes the color to everything. Anything Slick Rick gets on, he changes the color to. You know my favorite Jermaine Dupri song? It's the Slick Rick song, Fresh. And that's damn near a Slick Rick song. So it's kind of cheating. Like,
I told you, when Kanye said swagger on 100,000 trillion, he was talking about Slick Rick. He wasn't talking about himself. Slick Rick has an aura and a presence and a voice that if he's on the track, that's his song somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Slick Rick is literally my favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Like, for a long time, my favorite rapper collectives were like 3000, Ghostface, Q-Tip. Slick Rick is all of those guys' favorite rapper.
He's Nas's favorite rapper too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's my favorite rapper too. Yeah. Andre 3000 used to be my favorite rapper too. Mike Slick Rick, right?
Yeah.
He's that dude to all the guys that we say are that dude, but he's like that dude to me too.
Yeah.
You know, like even what'd he say on Frozen? Even this so beat I make monstrous. Like, he was talking shit on the track like that. You know, he's
amazing.
Rick the Ruler. Yeah, he's amazing. So I enjoyed it.
I was just kind of starstruck by the record in itself.
Me too. I was. That's what I mean. It's like, I don't know how to be objective about it. I can give it a 10 out of 5, Mike.
I can give it a 10 out of 5. You know what? I think that's another 4 out of 5.
No, I think it's a 4. It's a solid record, though. But I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's not trash like I think some people.
But it had the makings of being probably the best record on the album. I mean, with that collective on there.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says, if this was 7 songs, it would be an album of the year contender.
I agree.
Born King says, it's that Nas with the tooth cracked.
Yeah.
Yep. We got another one here. And you know what? Should we go to Lloyd Banks now? I mean, we're like an hour and a half in. We might as well.
Yeah, let's move over to Lloyd.
All right, let's go over to Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks has dropped, what is this, his second album in 2 years?
Mm-hmm. Back to back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Course of Inevitability 2. He dropped a 14-track album. The features on there were Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, Jadakiss, Tony Yayo, Vado, and Dave East. Now, you say you had a whole lot of notes on this album. And I remember you texted me earlier and was like, yo, man, this Lloyd Banks is nice. What do you think?
I want to unpack a lot of things.
Unknown Name says it just felt good to hear Slick Rick's voice on a new song. I feel you.
Right.
Go ahead.
You know, he's crafted himself into a very, very nice solo artist, Mike. He is actually somebody that has the capability to spit high quality lyrics and punchlines, but he's rounded himself into a very, very good song maker. I think some of the songs have a mixtape feel to them, but in a good and a positive way, because I think that's his lane and his style and where he's comfortable. And on the first project, I feel like it was too long and he had a couple missteps and was figuring some things out. This is way more concise. It's way better in my opinion. I don't know if it's a straight up album of the year contender, because we can kind of run it down and see if it falls in the top 5. Because for an album to be an album of the year contender, it has to be one of the 5 best albums of the year, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That's real contending. I look at it like an MVP race. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no. There's only 5 real contenders for MVP. Some honorable mention niggas. Motherfuckers gonna make second and third team, but there's only 5 that's up. And
Is
so
it too early to ask you, like, do you think it's better than the Ransom album?
It's not.
Okay.
I was thinking closer to putting it in the realm of actually 2 of the artists who are featured on here and comparing it to where it ranks in compared to God Don't Make Mistakes and Tana Talk 4. I think is more fair talk for it. But there is the possibility, in my opinion, that it might be better than both of those. And that's what I mean. It could be borderline album of the year contention. So I don't think it's better than the Ransom or the Che Noir Food for Thought or the Earth Gang Ghetto Gods. But after that, if I pull up let me pull up my
got
album.
Black Star in there too. Mad Max with the super chat says, LOL, maybe it's just me. I don't know. The old heads love Slick Rick. LOL. I like MC Shan more than him. I like LL better than him. So is Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, KRS. The Comb 44 says Slick Rick and Outkast joint. Beautiful record.
So right. So here's what I would tell you. It's like, so we got, I think the Che Noir is better.
Okay.
I think the Ransom is better. I think the Earth Gang Ghetto Gods is better. I know for certain that those 3 albums are better in my mind.
Are we not talking about the Black Star because it's on limited platforms, or?
I'm so tired of talking about an album that everybody can't hear, and we keep on giving it pub and giving it run, and then I keep telling myself, why am I pubbing and giving them run when one, like, they don't pull up on us, they're not supporting us. Like, you know, that conversation that we had with the gentleman behind the scenes is kind of helping us about, like, even down to what we should be wearing and doing. Like, that really kind of, like, stuck with me in the sense of, like, well, I'm not going to support people that's really not supporting according to hip-hop the way that they should. I'm a little done giving them their run because they're not even giving themselves fair run. Why should I give you more run when you don't seem to care?
I understand that, and I consider that. I mean,
I'm gonna
the
be
album
objective
is the
about the
album,
rating.
though. Yeah.
How can we rate an album when, according to hip hop, is for the people and by the people, and the people don't have access?
Well, I think that the problematic part of it when it comes to that Black Star album is, you can't really gauge what the people feel about the project because, like you said, a lot of people haven't really heard it, and even when, well, I won't say a lot of people haven't heard it, but people don't have access to it to even go hear it in a way that they have access to everything else. So when you see people talk about these lists and the album list, it often gets left out because of that reason. So it makes it really hard on us to really see if this is just our opinion or if we're just forging our opinions on these things or this how people really feel about it.
Well, also, too, this is what I mean. Well, it's not like the word on the street is not like people have been running to grab and pick this album up. And so I'm a guy that it's like, well, at the end of the day, I'm going to ride with what the streets say. And the streets been telling me, it's like, well, niggas really ain't been checking for them like that, Coop. Ain't nobody picking up this project like that, Coop. And if this project was fire like that, that's what the streets do all the time, no matter where you put it, Mike. When it's hot, people go get it. And it's like, nobody's going to get it because here's the thing. And this is what I was trying to say respectfully. For as great as you all are, y'all don't have it like that. Like, this is something that would be a shaky move. If Nas and Jay were to put out a collab album together and make this move, it would be shaky for them to do something like this. They kind of overstated themselves. And so it's like, I enjoy the album. I think it's great, but I can't continue to support it. They're not really supporting themselves properly.
Well, you know what? Even when Jay put out 444 in 2016, he had it on Tidal exclusively for, I think, maybe the first week or something. And then everybody got access to it. And so I think we were just waiting for that moment where No Fear of Time was going to be available on other platforms. I think enough time has lapsed where everybody should be able to share in it. Or, like my man who super chatted earlier said, that he has his vinyl of Magic. Like, I think that an album like No Fear of Time, in my personal opinion, if they released this to streaming platforms and then they went out there and put out physical vinyls for it, people would go out there and support that to have that record. You know what I mean? And the other part of that is we don't know if the sound quality issues were in the studio or on Luminary. And so that's the other question mark where it's like, okay, does anybody have a physical version of this so we can possibly get a better quality version of the album?
I mean, if they're intelligent businessmen, truly, they are literally re-recording it and engineering it and mastering it properly and to release it on major streaming platforms. Because I do think if it does get released that way, that it's on a bad day, it's an album of the year contender. On a bad day. But I'm not. So we have the Black Star album, technically, if we're counting it, Ransom, Che Noir, and the Ghetto Gods. Those are the only albums that I can succinctly say are better than this album. But like I said, this album is like a lot of the other albums. It's a 4. It's a year filled with 4s.
DeCarlo with the super chat says, Lloyd's project is the only one this year that has legit songs with good hooks on it. And plus he gives us bars and punchlines, unlike the rest this year.
So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like the Conway and the Benny is a 4. But if I were to put this ahead of that, I can't dismiss the fact that, and I'm saying this respectfully, I love how he put together this album. The sequencing on this album is dope because he sets it up like he wants his respect as a solo artist, MC. So before you hear any guest features, you hear 2 straight records of him. Impact is a great lead-off album song for him. He said, and I quote, "Killing this ice like Yamaguchi." I'm like, oh, those are the punchlines that he got notarized for.
Yeah.
You know, for those who don't know, Christina Yamaguchi is our 1992 Olympic gold medalist in figure skating.
DeCarlo with the super chat says, Banks made songs while everyone else made tracks, if that makes sense. Well, you know what? I do want to get to that, too, because I feel like Banks doesn't get enough credit for his song-making ability. I know that we were doing, like, the MC rating. And did we do 50 or we talked about doing 50? Either way, I think that Banks has a level of what 50 song-making ability is. I do believe that a lot of that G-Unit stuff, not saying anybody wrote anything for anybody else, but I think as far from a song-making perspective, a lot of that was collaborative. You know what I mean? And I think that because those songs weren't Banks songs specifically, we don't give Lloyd Banks enough credit for his songwriting ability anyway. He's always known how to make songs from hooks to, you know what I'm saying, to verses and just make the whole complete package. Because I'm so fly as that. You know what I mean?
So can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And you know how I feel, so I never thought I would say this. He does suffer from not having somebody charismatic and vocally distinctive like 50 around him. Vocally,
yeah,
he can be hard to go through for a whole album, very comparable to a Boldy, like people say at times.
You're 100% correct.
And so it's tough getting beginning to end, and that's why I tell you, part of why I like Boldy is because of how Boldy switches it up. Boldy also has Alchemist doing his beats.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's
a big plus.
Yeah, super big plus, you know. But the plus of all pluses, ask Freddie Gibbs with Alfredo what type of plus.
I think in a minute, man, we're going to have to put Alchemist in the top 5. But that's another discussion for another day.
That conversation's coming soon. I'm starting to feel that way, too.
Because we can't keep bigging him up like this and say, oh, no, he's not top 5.
Well, I can't keep playing Alfredo more than any other rap album the last 5 years and doing that, too. Right.
Yeah.
So he sets himself up nicely for who he is. And here's what he is. He's a very well-versed MC. He's a great songwriter, and he's a great punchline bar-for-bar rapper. And you kind of see it in who shows up, because it's like, well, if this dude's not nice, Conway's not on here, Benny's not on here, Jadakiss isn't on here. That's the type of lineup that somebody like a Royce or a Black Thought has on their albums. Like, in terms of, like, lyrical MC. You get what I'm saying?
Who do you think had the best performance on here, since you're naming some of the features?
I think Benny fit in with the concept of what was going on song-wise the best. So the Living Proof with Benny, I thought Benny's performance was the best, just because he fit into the theme of what Banks' songwriting was the best. But it's all dope. I felt like the power steering, when I heard that beat, I'm like, oh, that's perfect for Kiss to go in. And sure enough, he ends it with some classic Kiss shit. I'm a big stepper. You a young dancer. Smoke with me only gonna lead the lung cancer. I'm like, yeah, that's Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, It's like Kiss showed up. They gave Kiss a
Kiss
beat.
always shows up.
And Kiss did what Jada Kiss usually does, which is, body the track.
I like Conway on there.
No, Conway on there is dope.
007 with the super chat says, mixtape Wayne, mixtape Fab, mixtape Banks. He's more in his pocket, but his projects in the past 2 years are cool. Looking back, his time at G Unit was man. Jay Short with the super chat says, Black Star showed the danger in becoming legends in your own mind. To know your worth, you must know your audience and your business first.
They're MCs. Yeah. First thing you have to know when you speak in front of a crowd is your audience. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, oh, y'all, because here's what they don't realize. Everybody who really is a head and a fan of theirs and wanted to hear their album has already went and listened to it, and the feedback hasn't been good, and thereby the secondhand smoke, the next wave of people have not come. But here's the thing about it.
I want to piggyback. Go ahead. I'll hold my thought.
Had you just made it available, your ass would still be paid, though.
I think the biggest problem with this, though, Coop, is the fact that they made it exclusive on a platform that is not known for music. So it's like, it's not one of those gifts that keep on giving type of thing. More than likely, we're going to listen. We're going to use that 1 month for the people who did that, and they're going to cancel because it's not like a Tidal thing, right? Where it's like Tidal was coming around during a time where if you wanted a third option, you also had access to everything else in the music, any other music genre. It had everything that Spotify and Apple Music had, where Luminary doesn't. Luminary is pretty much for podcasts, right? So if this was done on a platform that was similar to a Tidal or something, it would make a little bit more sense because it's like when my trial runs out or whatever, then I might keep it going because I like this platform for the other music that I'm listening to. But with this one, it was like, okay, I came here for the Black Star album. Do I really want to keep paying $4.99 for stuff that I might not might not listen to? Which are podcasts, which aren't more music. So it's not like they continuously put out music on that platform. Then that would have made more sense. You know what I mean?
So can I say something respectfully?
Yeah.
Well, they're just really not the businessmen that they fashion themselves out to be, and they're not the MCs that they fashion themselves out to be in terms of the legend in their own minds. It's like you can't not be both. It's like they have themselves inflated in terms of who they are, all-time MCs. Like sometimes when you're too accessible to the public, like Talib is, and sometimes like most can be and has been at times, too many people run up on you in person telling you how great you are, and you start to believe and feed into your own hype. And I keep trying to tell you, it's like, well, most should be a top 10 MC of all time, but he's not. Talib's not even close to that, and neither one of these guys are top 25, and that's even on their best day. And so they have themselves overrated, and their business acumen is not as strong as they think it is. And that's not to say that their business acumen is not strong.
Well, I will say this. I just don't, and we talked about this before the album came out. I just didn't think it was a good idea to release it in that way. If you want to release this, because it was a quality album too. Possible album of the year, and in my personal opinion, the best album that I have heard in 2022. But I think that if you want to release it in a way where you want support, you got to go the physical route. And if you wanted to put it on that streaming platform for like the first month or whatever, at least make other things available. But to leave the fans hanging in a way where it's like, I got you on this platform that doesn't have any other music but mine. You know what I'm saying? I think it puts you in a dead end situation. You know what I'm saying? What's the end goal here? Do you really want to sit here and pay $5 a month? So you ended up paying $60 a year for a Black Star album? You should have just sold people the damn physical album.
I'm about to say, because here's the thing about it. How about this? You probably, and this is what I mean about being a smart businessman. If you really wanted to make it boutique like that, you could have opened up your own like digital webpage for a month.
Exactly.
where listen to what I'm saying, where you have like a little gift kit available where you get like a physical vinyl copy that's signed by Most, Talib, and Madlib with an actual CD.
Easy.
They can get old school, like for real. Like if you care about it, make a tape, a CD, and a vinyl, and wrap it up and bow it, like literally and personally sign it, and charge niggas $60 for that, and then give them access to the digital streaming of it for a year and the physical copy.
Yeah,
that's gonna go same $60.
It's you know what, and it's no problem. It's no problem in going old school when you haven't released an album in 24 years.
But listen, but what I'm saying is that. Well, their business acumen isn't that strong because I just thought about that off the top of my head, and that's stronger than any play that they just made. They're just not their business. They're not who they think they are as businessmen.
LP,
it's like, and I'm not saying that because I don't care for Talib. I'm saying that because it's like they fucked up.
And it's a great album too. LP
great
album,
Super Chat says
Fife album was better, more complete. KRS-2.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I agree because it's like, well, guess what? People got access to those albums to be able to say that, Mike. It's like we can't even have this conversation with about 2/3 of the people that's in here. Because about 2/3 of the people that are in here right now haven't heard this.
No, and it's hard to even have these discussions because
our
show is predicated on people's feedback, and we can't get feedback for an album that people don't have access to. Topping that with the super chat, shout out to the people out there in Australia and any other country out there as well. UK be supporting hard too. He said, glad Banks is still getting love. Has a dope catalog, including mixtapes. His hook game is nice and has better song and a better songwriter now, not just punchline rapper anymore. Should listen to him on the Button podcast. All love.
He's actually less of a punchline rapper now. Is actually what I was about to say. One of the highlights for this album to me isn't just how like he trimmed it down and made it more concise and kind of like covered up some of his holes as an artist. Mm-hmm. But he really is like well-rounded as a songwriter as he's ever been. These hooks are strong. His verses are strong. I mean, lyrically, Mike, how many guys do you know that can invite Conway and Benny and Jada Kiss comfortably on their project, like without a problem? So his bar work is there. When I was hearing him rap next to Conway, I was actually thinking to myself, they were probably, he's one of the dudes that they were probably watching too when they were first stepping in. And he obviously has a relationship with a lot of the best spitters. That's because he's one of the best spitters too. And even the joint with Yayo, even though I thought it was underwhelming, but like Yayo's never been like, that was the thing even about G-Unit. It's like, well, Yayo was the wild dude, Banks was like the spitter, 50 was the personality. And so
I liked Yayo, and I think that I like Yayo in the sense that he was kind of like the personality of the group, and it was almost like, I mean, obviously 50 was kind of like everything all in one person, right? He'll give you a little bit of everybody, but it was like Tony Yayo shit was fun. He would say stuff that was funny, like Fat Joe ain't a gangster, he's scared to fly. Stuff like that, and it's like even the line of you must have mirrors on your pants because I see me in them and shit like that. Like, it's funny. I like Tony Yayo. He had a personality, but again,
he had a personality. We can say that. No, he brought some personality to the group. He was a little flavor-flavish to me.
Exactly, and I think groups are about balance, and I think that you got vocal balance and you also have personality balance, because if you got two Lloyd Bankses, they cancel each other out.
No, how about this? The Yayo that's on Running on the documentary, that nigga rapping. Who's on Running?
My Desert Eagle on, girl. Just touched down.
Just touched down. You're right. All that.
What's this?
I signed my deal. I said, fuck jail. I went on tour to Barcelona and Brazil.
What did he say? I love his verse on I Run New York. He was like, the Locks made more money in them damn shoddy suits. He said, the rap game about sales, drugs and rapping. Jada, fuck your punchlines. My shirt with platinum. Here we go now. Okay. Amano says, the Erkman Rowe Serena controversy gives good context about female players and their skills. The women are excellent for women. Hate to be that guy.
Say that again?
Says the Mick Enro Serena controversy gives a good context about female players and their skills. The women are excellent for women. Hate to be that guy. Shrug shoulders. Let's see. I think we got some other ones that we're missing. Ed says, or ED says, my issue with Banks is that he sounds repetitive and doesn't switch his flow and delivery. At times his voice gets drowned out and feels like one long record. I can understand that.
I can dig that. I can respect that. That's what I mean. So part of the problem with this album is really just the fact that, well, and this is what I mean. I like what he's doing. He's like, no, I actually have the songwriting capability, the punchlines. He has everything. And so I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this carefully. Mm-hmm. He is actually the exemplary. He's the example. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say exemplary. He's the example of why rap voices matter, because he actually checks most of the boxes that you want an all-time great MC to check. Does he have great delivery? Yes. Hooks? Yes. Song structure? Yes. Concepts? Yes. Songs? Yes. Like, he does all of these things well. It's his voice that kind of weighs him down on some songs. Like The Murder One, conceptually, I thought to myself, I'm like, if Nas delivers that same record with the same lyrics in Nas's voice, totally different effect on the record because of the concept and because of how the vocally it carries with the track. His voice actually hurts him so that you don't hear some of his best written stuff, like Murder One, Dead Roses. Like Dead Roses, lyrically and concept wise, no. This is elite stuff that he's doing. His guest verses in the songs like Menace with Conway, Living Proof with Vinny. No, this is superior stuff. His voice is weighing him down. He's actually doing some people saying. I see some people saying that his voice is boring, and I'm seeing some people also saying that this is the same thing that was the problem with his album last year. So this album is more concise. What are you rating this album? Because I think we're going to end up saying the same things over and over. Like, I feel like it's a 4. That's what I mean. It's another year of 4s. That's what I mean. It's like, no, it's a 4. And it's more of a fair 4 because it's like where that Conway or that Benny. What do you think of the Currency Continuance?
Ooh, Continuance was one of those albums that we were super high on early.
How is it held? Like, do you think that's a 4 or above a 4?
I think it's above this. I'll go back and listen over the
right. So I'm starting to feel like the Currency's continuance is going to be our basis for the difference between a 4 and a 4.25. Exactly. Because I'm feeling like the Currency continuance is a 4.25, and I'm starting to feel like it's slightly better than this, slightly better than the Benny. Maybe slightly better than the Conway. Maybe not better than the Benny. I don't know. Benny, see, you know what? Benny's holding well. I'm higher on the Conway than I am the Benny. Where you're higher on the Benny than you are the Conway. The production's just better. The beats are just better. And you want to know what? He got more standout moments. Benny does. He does, because I will say this too, and this is what I mean about how Banks starting off this album. You know how I feel about Conway. I don't love that he's starting off that album with the track featuring Siegel and then a track featuring Wayne and Ross, like before he gets into his shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sequencing. See, structure and sequencing matter. It's like, and this is what I'm saying. I say this to say, well, Tana Talk 4 starts off with Cole and starts off with Stove and Johnny P's Caddy and back 2 times are better than the start off to God Don't Make Mistakes. And so when they both get off in their own shit, well, Benny's already up to me because he's made the superior records walking into them, going into their solo shit. Yeah, the sequence, it does matter, man. I remember reading that Big Boy wanted Y'all Scared to be the first song on the Kumina. And that was wrong. As we know, Return of the Gangsters started off with Kumina, which I feel like was perfect, but I don't even know what a Kumina would sound like to me if Y'all Scared came first. And honestly, and I've said this on the show before, I think Y'all Scared is probably one of my favorite songs on the album in 2022. I mean, it wasn't like that back in the day, but I don't know, man. That song for me just holds so well. And I don't know if it's because of what they're talking about, the mood, but was that the last time we really got Outkast and Goody Mob
on a track together like that?
Probably no.
I think it might have been.
No, Dungeon Family album.
That's different though. But what song were you thinking? Like, because they're not on records together on there. You got CeeLo.
They're on Watch for the Hook together. That counts. Watch for the Hook does count.
But everybody's on there.
There's nothing wrong with. I mean,
no, but you know what I mean. Outkast and Goody Mob.
You're talking about Outkast and Goody specifically.
Yeah.
First of all, there's never been just a straight up and down Outkast Goody Mob record where there's those 2 guys and those 4 guys because there's 6 of them together on one record.
That's the closest I think we've gotten. Because CeeLo's the only one missing on there. Yeah. Yeah, because Black Ice is just
like you're saying that, but that's a pretty big omission. Thought process is actually closer to me.
You think so? Big Boy's missing.
Right, but nothing against Big Boy. But what CeeLo and Dre did lyrically kind of made up for that.
No, you're right.
And Gip on there snapping. They made some
everybody on there.
They got some new wings on Fee Street. Left wing for the feds, right wing for the hard heads. Yeah. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm gonna eat. About $20 away from being on the street. Might see a nigga on TV, but hell, it's almost like I'm rapping for free. That little money be gone. God damn it, I'm grown. Gotta help keep the heat and the lights on. It would be nice to have Mo, but I kind of like being Poe. At least I know what my friends here for. I want to lie to you sometimes, but I can't. I want to tell you that it's all good, but it ain't. Niggas hurting and uncertain about if they gonna make it or not. That's why we got niggas killing, feeling like they coming up off a little dope they sold. You can get some gold.
We gonna make it as a whole.
Because without you, there'd be no me. And without no unity, there would never be any happiness. You can smoke a pound of sex.
It still won't relieve your stress.
God bless.
People wonder why I had him at number 3 originally, man. Like,
no, lyrically, Mike. When I'm saying like bar for bar, remember when I was saying about the Method Man Ghostface thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, bar for bar. Ain't nobody down here fucking with CeeLo.
It's real, man.
Bar for bar.
Even his verse on Get Up, Get Out. He got the best verse on Get Up, Get Out.
I think that was Rhyme of the Month in the Source, Mike. That was the first time I saw a Southern nigga get Rhyme of the Month in the Source, actually.
Right. Jay Short with the super chat says, the mixing always sounds off for Banks stuff. Maybe it's his voice. Mad Bax with the super chat says, Banks is great. He's a great number 2. He's KD or Pippen or Kareem with Magic.
That was very, very shady. Let's back up right quick.
Who is Banks in the let's just say in a dynamic duo?
He's not KD or Kareem. All right, he's not that level. All right,
no,
he's not that level. And he's not Scotty either, actually. And that's what I mean about how it's hard to classify him sometimes because of his voice. And I mean, because it's like when you listen to this album, it's like, because I get what people are saying, because by track 14, because he's a real solo MC in terms of his bar work, he doesn't need guest appearances to fill his gaps because he is strong enough with his material, but his voice kind of wears on people a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like he can't win for losing because if he would have had more features than what he had, it'd be like, oh, well, this ain't really his album. It's feature heavy. Oh, no, it's his album. It's like, oh, well, his voice kind of drags and he's boring. And it's not that he's boring. It's that his voice sounds boring. Kind of like Boldy.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think that's a perfect comparison. Born King says, what y'all think about HDIGH by East?
I've been heard that. We talked about that. It's dope. He's got some stuff on there.
You ready to get onto this list, or some other things you want to say about this Banks album?
You know, he does have...
James Worthy's a good one. That's a good one, guys.
There we go.
I could see that.
I like that. He's more James Worthy.
I was thinking more of Joe Dumars, whatever.
Joe Dumars-ish, yeah. Like that work. He's that work. He's that guy. He's a borderline all-star with that worker's mentality that shows up every day to play. So like, yeah, I don't know if he's not Scotty. Scotty got a 40-point triple-double in the playoffs once against the best team in the league that year. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know if Banks is doing shit like that next to 50 in 50's prime, but he is maybe James Worthy. James Game was like, very mid-range, very unassuming, but he showed out one time and won a Finals MVP. He was the man on the team that Michael Jordan played on in college. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, somebody said Rock Marciano's voice is boring. I think Rock Marciano's
you need to stop that. Lean on the same like muscular dystrophy. Some of the hardest shit I ever heard.
I was just listening to Emeralds today, man. That nigga went crazy on there, man.
Method Man said Rock Marciano need to be lifted up higher. Say less.
Well, I mean, great
that's
MC
your
is
guy,
no great
Mike.
MC.
No, that's your guy. No, you want to know what? You've been bigging up Rock Marciano before, according to Hip Hop. Even like you and me even went live and we were having these debates and stuff, and we were debating on Facebook. You've always held Rock up very, very high, and it looks like he's getting like the love and the flowers like from the legends that you always felt like he deserved. He is.
Yeah, Rock Marciano's the truth, man. You know what? Before we get to this list, there was something that I had in notes here. Did you see the Drillmatic got a release date?
Oh, finally?
Yep. Hit Boy posted this actually. It says August 12th, 2022. Drillmatic, Heart vs. Mind, The Game, co-executive producers Hit Boy and Kanye West.
Last time Kanye West co-executive produced something, it was Pusha T's album. So,
see, this is the thing, man. I mean, I got to question like Kanye's current involvement in whatever. And like you said, when he co-executive produced something, we don't know how involved Kanye is. The last time he was really all in that I can think of was Daytona. And I know y'all think I talk about Daytona like it's Thriller. And I don't understand what people's problem is with Daytona, but Daytona's awesome. From end to end.
Daytona's great.
Born King with the super chat says, I haven't if haven't please listen to CeeLo live with live with Hall and Oates. He bodied their classics. I remember that. It was I think it was just with Hall, because Hall had his own show. That was pretty dope when he was performing I Can't Go For That. David Hall was having everybody come in there and perform that song with him on his show. It was pretty dope. It should be on YouTube. But yeah, so we might be getting Drillmatic on the 12th. It might get pushed back.
Isn't that when Black Thought dropping?
Is that when Black Thought's dropping? Man.
Yeah.
That'd be a great Friday.
Isn't that when Cheat Codes is dropping? What's the release date on Cheat Codes?
Yeah, go look up the release date for Cheat Codes. Let's get to this list, though.
Yeah, you go ahead and get credit.
So, top 25 Southern MCs all time. We spoke about it on Wednesday. I pulled up like this old list that I wrote out with the top 50 Southern MCs all time. And I went back and looked at my list from 4 years ago. And I was like, yo, man, my shit is all the way off. So
Mike.
I attempted to go rework it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Black Thought's dropping on August 12th.
Okay. August 12th should be lit then.
So we got Game and Thought on August 12th?
Yep.
It's album of the year. That should be an album of the year conversation type of show.
It should be.
It better be.
Because I predict that that Black Thought is going to be real heavy based on what I'm hearing so far.
I think that we're about to see Black Thought's best solo effort.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Game need to come with it.
Because I believe in the production on this one.
That's what I'm saying when I'm saying Game need to come with it, because I don't care what Game feel about how he feel about himself lyrically, West Coast wise, and where he need to be ranked. Well, he not Black Thought on the mic, because guess who Black Thought on the mic? Nobody's Black Thought on the mic.
And I think that Danger Mouse,
not Black Thought on the mic.
I like where Danger Mouse is going production wise.
It's the whole problem. He giving him that raw shit.
That's is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go listen to some of that shit after the show is over. DeCarlo with the super chat says,
I've been playing No Gold Teeth like every day hard. I play some No Gold Teeth.
That's a song of the year candidate. DeCarlo says, I will forever put Victory Lap over Daytona. No cap.
Those were, I always told people this, those were my 1 and 2 that year, but I always told you if you wanted to put Victory Lap over Daytona about the length and the quality, I was okay with that. Cool with that.
I was okay with that.
I played Victory Lap the other day. I love Victory Lap.
I'm going to use your term. The bar work on Daytona, I mean, from the beginning where he's sitting here, you know, ran off on the plug too, like True Goy. What?
Yeah.
You can never do what I do, boy. Still ducking shit that I did, boy. Niggas in Paris with hit, boy. These ain't the same type of hits, boy. Shit can get litter than lit, boy. Yo. And those ain't even some of the best bars on the album.
Papa Willie, tell the judge to Akinelli. Middle fingers after the ghost screaming Machiavelli.
Or we could go the bust down or lower levels where you settle at. I'm the pot calling the kettle black. Where there's no brick pedals at. Between God and where the devil's at. Had to double dutch and double back. And backtrack to where the trouble's at. Exactly where the game's been missing. Come on, man. And then that second verse on the games we play.
I was actually thinking about how Hard Piano starts up. Never fall in love with the bitch who loves a camera. She will turn around and fuck you and fuck the janitor. Set the parameters.
You either with the pro ballers or the
amateurs. I was like, oh shit. I was like,
okay. Yeah, come on.
It's like, oh,
good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I live?
That's how we're starting off. It's like, oh shit.
Yo. Second verse on the games we play. Like, there's quotables all over that shit.
Yeah.
And we ain't even talking about Infrared. Or like you said, what will Meek do? Because that's one of Kanye's best verses possibly ever.
His life. It's one of the best verses of Kanye's life.
I won't feel right till I feel like Phil Knight. Going for 6 rings like when Phil told Mike. Come on, man. Like, what do we do?
7 pill nights. You know what that feel like? No more hiding my scars. I show them like Seal, right?
And can I interest you in Santeria? Jeez.
What I'm saying, like, yeah,
y'all act like I'm overreacting on this album,
people be like, no, y'all be tripping about Daytona. It's like, no, nigga, you
got the evidence.
You're not paying attention, nigga. Yeah, like
we got the evidence.
It's up well. It doesn't sound old.
Nah, it's one of those albums that's always gonna sound like, yo, play this again.
How about this? It's one of the very few rap classics where it's like, what year did they make this album?
Right.
What year did they make this rap album?
Salute the Ross because the message is pure. He see what I see when you see Wayne on tour. Flash without the fire. Another multi-platinum rapper trapped and can't retire. Niggas get exposed. I see the cracks and I'm the liar. Shit, I've been exposed. I took the crack and built the wire. Now who do you admire? Are y'all tripping?
No, he went further. Your rap songs is all trying my patience. The numbers ain't real without inflation.
I done flew it, I done grew it, been a conduit. Man, come on, man. We can't front on that record, man.
No, there's no fronting on that.
And then we're not even talking about the production. The production was A1.
If you know is part of our hashtag in popular culture lexicon. It's a dope boy anthem. When does a dope boy anthem ever become part of pop culture lexicon? Because Dead Presidents isn't that. Feeling It isn't that. Grinding isn't that. None of that G-Rapper Ice-T shit is that.
These are the games we play. These are the names they say.
I love how he went to the politics as usual shit, because that's my favorite part of politics as usual.
Ain't no stopping the champagne from popping, the draws from dropping, the laws from watching. When Jay back chopping, the cars and the women come with options. Come on, man.
But that's head shit.
Yeah.
You're ahead if you know the end of politics as usual. So it's like he's speaking to a certain class of nigga right there, like in the streets and in rap when he does that. How can you not love that? It's high level bar work.
Yeah, it is. Mad Max says, my son Chef G just dropped a decent project too. So much
Shoot it to us. No. Damn all that. Mike's busy. Shoot it to me. Shoot it to me. Fuck all that. Shoot it to me. No, Mike, you busy. Like, y'all don't be understanding. Y'all be shooting Mike stuff. Mike don't have time for this shit. I've assumed the new title of the creative content director of media, according to hip hop. Start sending me the shit. Leave Mike the fuck alone.
Yo, so Coop is a better listener to me too, because my attention span is like this these days, man. Like
that's what I'm saying though. That's about how life is set up because of how according to hip hop is set up right now. Like, just give me your shit. But we got stuff coming. We got writers coming. We got talent coming.
Yeah, the growth is there, man.
I talked to Denim today. We need to talk. Like, I talked to Denim today. We got Yeah.
Shit, let's get it popping. We got a lot in store for you guys, for real. But let's get to this list, man.
Yeah.
So the top 25 Southern MCs all time. This is what I want to preface my list with, right? I think that when I start thinking about a Southern list, and I always hated when they used to break us off into a Southern section and all that. But when you start really digging into these lists and digging into the artists, you start to realize that this region is more about making songs and projects. And it's a lot of people with a wealth of catalog. And so you might not see the most skilled MC at a higher position, but these people have either perspective, catalog, or material that you just can't front on. Like, obviously, Saha, his bar work is crazy. We just seen him on the LA Leakers and all that. But does he have a high like Juvenile? Does he have the man right here like Mystical? Or, you know what I'm saying? And I think we kind of run into that a lot in the South. There are some people who do have, I guess what you would say, superior bar work. But a lot of Southern MCs, they really specialize in making the songs. And I think our Tupac discussion kind of put me in a different mindset too, where it's like, okay, well, being a great MC is not always about being lyrical miracle all the time. Like, what's your songs look like? How are you hitting people? How is your shit connecting? How is your shit touching? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I was putting my, list together when it came to that top 25. Mad Max said Daytona is a 25-minute run, time run. That's not an album, that's an EP. Sounds like a mixtape classic, though. But Victory Lap got no skips, and it's got 18 tracks. I used to say the same thing when it concerns Aquemini and Illmatic. So I get where you're coming from.
And Victory Lap has a couple skips on it, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Coop's list, we put that out yesterday, and I think my list kind of came out this afternoon. I had to work on it.
Where's your list at? Is it up? Or can you put it up on the screen so I can go?
Yeah, I got it on the screen right now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to your list first. Coop has Face at number 1. I got Face at number 1.
Well, that's easy.
Coop got Pusha T at number 2. I got Lil Wayne at number 2.
If I could retract that, I would flip that and put Wayne at 2 and Push at 3, because I was squabbling between. And I was really cool with the people deciding. And I'm cool with putting Wayne ahead of Push, because Wayne's our age and has been doing this since we were all teenagers.
I think the thing that kind of made me push Wayne over even T.I., because I personally, I was listening to a lot of T.I. yesterday, and I think a lot of people front on T.I.'s legacy for whatever reason. I personally think that T.I. is a better songwriter than Wayne. I think that he's a better collector of consistent thought, right? Like, I think that he can give you conceptual songs in a more consolidated way than Wayne can. Because yes. I think Wayne's music is so sporadic. His verses are so sporadic and all of that.
His gibberish can be brilliant, but it can be gibberish.
It can be. But he just has so much. And like you said, he has so many different eras and different lanes or different levels to, what he's been able to do. And he's still doing it at a high level today. So I had to, his impact, I think, is greater than Tip's.
Yes.
So I had to push him ahead of T.I., even though I personally probably listen to T.I.'s music a little bit more than I do Wayne's. Man with the super chat says Bun B has impacted the South and rap better than Ross. Okay. I understand that. But I think that's more of a UGK influence, right? Okay, after that, so you're flipping your Wayne and Pusha T. So you got Pusha T at 3.
Yeah, because I was already kind of like back and forth with that anyway, because one of the things where Pusha T wins over these other guys is the longevity of his quality. Well, he doesn't have that over Wayne. Wayne was here before him, wasn't he? And Wayne has been the bigger star, and Wayne has great group work. Wayne has solo classic work. Wayne has mixtape work. I'm just a competitive guy, so it's like I'm always going to take the guy who bodies the other guy.
You know what? And I considered that too when I was talking about T.I. Because T.I.'s battles, I know y'all think that, he got bodied by Luda, which I understand. But T.I.'s had some real big moments when it comes to his back being against the wall and having to go against another MC. Now, I know Shawty Low, rest in peace, probably isn't the caliber MC of Tip, but what's up, what's happening is strong. I'm talking to you is strong.
No,
that 99 problems, or no, I don't even want to say 99 problems. Down with the King against Flip is strong. And even the verse y'all say he got bodied on, I personally think it's the best verse on the song.
Hold on. The third verse on What You Know About That's about Flip too.
It is. It is.
That's about Flip too.
When you talk about competitive levels, I would love to see, and we don't see nobody have no issues, but if we're talking about from a competitive MC standpoint, a Pusha T and T.I. battle in both of their primes would be very interesting, I think.
I mean, I personally see, here's the thing, and here's why I'm saying I'm cool with putting Wayne ahead of Pusha T. I don't want people thinking that this list is biased. Everybody knows how big of a Pusha T fan that I am. And when I made the argument for Pusha T, I had to be honest with myself and say, well, the things that I said in reference to Pusha, I could say about Wayne. And really, that's just a part of me. It's like, well, the other nigga talked shit in battle. The other nigga really didn't say nothing, took a little small, subtle cheap shots, never did nothing. I'm going to put the other guy ahead because that's how the streets work. And then I had to remind myself, it's like, well, this is hip hop, and hip hop's still not the streets, even though it's born in the streets. And that's not how hip hop works. You tend to give the rank to the bigger star if all things are equal. If all things are equal, Wayne is the far superior star, even though Pusha T is the superior MC and did fade him in battle.
Well, there's a lot of things that come with being a star too, and I think those are the some of the credences that I gave Wayne as well. Because it's like, it's like that age-old thing where people say, man, there's somebody in the park that could outplay Michael Jordan, but you haven't been in Michael Jordan's shoes, figuratively or literally speaking, and you haven't been in those moments for us to even know that. We don't know how anybody would have handled being as big as Wayne and having to follow up that kind of output, and Wayne did it, and we got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, there's something to be said for it.
Yeah.
I'm more traditional too, and Pusha is more of your traditional classic lyricist and MC. Yeah. He's closer to Big and Jay than people realize.
But once again, I don't think that he's had to deal with the level of stardom and fame that Big and Jay had to deal with, and being able to make music in those terms. And you know what we can say?
I'm talking about the bar work.
I understand what you're saying, but let's look at this current album, right?
Right.
I think this is the most push, no pun intended, and fanfare that he's ever gotten for a release. Would you say that he lived up to the pressure on this one?
No.
Well, Wayne, Jay, and Big have had to do that.
No. Well, I don't know. Okay, so when you're saying that, I don't agree with that on the Wayne side because I feel like Wayne wasn't under pressure until the Carter 3 was pending, and the Carter 3 is not what it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Okay.
That shit's a little...
well, you know what? I agree with what you're saying.
Carter 3's a little sweet, Mike. Carter 3 is a little sweet. If you like Wayne on Carter 1 and Carter 2 and you're listening to the Carter 3, don't tell me that you love the Carter 3 if you love the Carter 1 and Carter 2. Because it's missing a whole element to it, and it's like you got stuff like Lollipop, the joint with T-Pain.
But
this
honestly,
away, that away,
I understand what you're saying.
Niggas in the street ain't totally fucking with that all the time if they chick nut in the car.
No, you're right. But I think that the Carter 3 did what it was supposed to do, but there could be an argument made that It's Almost Dry did what it was supposed to do as well. I think that Millie is still on there, right? I don't think there's a Millie on It's Almost Dry.
Okay, see, that. Okay, so you feel different about a Millie than I do.
I think a Millie was... Listen, the Carter 3 made Wayne a superstar.
How about this? La 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 with David Banner and Busta Rhymes is better than that.
Really?
Starting off hustling, ended up balling. Yeah. That's better on there. That's what I'm talking about. Is there's not enough of that on the Carter 3. There's not enough of the You Don't Know joint with Fab and Jewels on the Carter 3. What that shit Jewel say? Nigga, I'm a shark. You're just koi fish. What else? Octopus. What else? Oysters.
You know what?
I got my eye on your wifey now. I have a lick me up and then wipe me down.
Anybody who watches the show know you don't like the happy shit, right? But
There's a lot of happy shit.
This was the moment, though, where Wayne was like, okay, all this buzz, and I'm sure the record label too, all this buzz is leading up to this moment. I can't just make a street record. I have to make a big
No,
record.
I'm cool with Lollipop. No, yeah. I'm cool with Lollipop.
I'm talking about the album as a whole.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that, like, I don't think he had to do all of that. Like, the joint with T-Pain, it's like I tell people all the time, I feel like Drake wrote that whole song, and I don't like that out of a Wayne album.
A lot of people don't like that.
Wayne didn't need that, because Wayne didn't need that off of the Carter 2 as an MC after all the stuff that was shrouded in the Carter 1. So think about it. We got the Carter 1 that's got Gilly attached to it. The Carter 3 sounds like Drake wrote half of it. So that's why I always tell you, it's like, no, the Carter 2 is my shit, because I know Wayne did the Carter 2. And it sounds like Wayne. And it sounds like New Orleans Wayne. Like, there's nothing even that resembles a Money on My Mind or a Oh No or a Best Rapper Alive on the Carter 3.
No, you're right.
Well, tell me that there's not
Best Rapper Alive and Money on My Mind are crazy. Hustler Music was a dope single, too.
Those are the best records he did, in my opinion. And I'm like, well, you could have done that on the Carter 3 and did Lollipop.
I like I'm a D-boy, too.
It would have been all good.
I like I'm a D-boy, too, but, you know, Eric B is president.
No, I'm a D-boy. Even the Shooter joint with Robin Thicke. Like, how about this? The Shooter joint with Robin Thicke, he could have done even more of that on the Carter 3, and it would have played better. He was a star by then. And so I didn't understand, like, just... It was really, really...
Well, we got to get into this list. Old Badly with the super chat says, Big Boy.
Babyface was singing on the Carter 3, Mike?
Yeah, he was. That never really works out for rappers, man. And I love Babyface. You know how I feel about Babyface as a songwriter. You got Sunshine, you got the Jazzy Bell remix that I really love the original, and then you got that. That might have been his best one, actually. The Wayne one might be his best one.
Strike 1, 2, and 3.
Old Badly says Big Boy is too low on both of y'all lists. We're gonna get to
Big Boy at 6.
Yeah, you got Big Boy higher than I do. Where
do you have Big Boy?
Oh man, we're gonna get to that. Mad Max says, "I'm sorry."
Where's your list at, Mike?
Mad Max says, "I'm sorry, J. Cole has to be number 2. He has a classic album that has a diamond cut, and he has a classic mixtapes, and his skill wise is better than them. Skill wise, he's better than them." DeCarlo says, "Ross, Luda, T.I., Wayne, and even Cole all have done more and mean more to hip hop than Pusha T. No way he ranks higher than them." That's like saying Lupe is the second best Midwest artist. What do you have to say about that, Coop?
That's very problematic.
LP says Big and Jay weren't getting indicted. They're different. Okay.
I'm not touching that either.
Yeah, I'm not touching that either. All right, let's get back to this list. So I got Big Boy at 7, actually.
They weren't.
Yeah, I got Big Boy at 7. You got him at 6. So...
you want to know? Okay, so
like, and I only have Big Boy behind Ross. That's where we only flipped that. You got Big Boy ahead of Ross, and I got Big Boy slightly behind Ross.
Okay, so
I'm not. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. Let's discuss something about what DeCarlo said right quick, because he spent the time and the money to actually say that. Ross, Luda, T.I., Wayne, and Cole have all done more. On what level?
I wanted you to
more to hip hop. On what level exactly? Like DeCarlo, and you know I like you and I respect you, but it's like, no, they really haven't. What has Ross brought to the table for hip hop that Pusha T hasn't brought to the table? Like, first of all, as far as Ross, Luda, and T.I. are concerned, well, they're not better bar for bar rappers than Pusha, and that's just plain and simple. In the case of Wayne and Cole, they might be. But I would argue with you that he's done a better job of making more cohesive, coherent, and concise material than both of those guys. And so this is what I'm talking about. There's only one certified street dude in all of this heat too. Like, there's only one dude that we're talking about who's like certified in the streets like that, and that's Pusha. And that's what I mean about how rap in the streets ain't the same thing, because it's like, well, if credibility matters in hip hop and being authenticated matters in hip hop, well, then he's way more important than everybody else on here with the comparable catalog, because his shit's authenticated.
I want to talk about two things, right? And I'm sure that people
like the credibility is supposed to matter, like who you are is supposed to matter. Like, Ross is in a whole thing. You know how I feel about Ross too. Ross is in a whole thing right now about his past. Luda had a 4-year run. T.I. doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's delved into a whole career. Wayne has ghostwriters centered around him. Cole doesn't pick different producers. I can go to every MC and pick the nits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was going to say, man, because I think that's pretty much where people are going with this, right? This Pusha T and J. Cole thing. And because you and I both have Pusha T over J. Cole, and clearly people have an issue with that.
He had a better career.
I think so, too. And you know what? Let's be perfecly honest.
What's the J. Cole evidence?
As much as I love J. Cole now, and I'm loving J. Cole more now than ever, actually.
Ever.
He does not have a Daytona. And y'all just heard us quote these bars from Daytona. He does not have a Daytona.
Oh, he doesn't have a Hell... Hold on. Understand this. He doesn't have a Hell House No Fury either.
Does he have a run like when Pusha was on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
No, this run is like that.
Okay.
This run is comparable to that. So I will say he's having a run like that.
So you would say Johnny P's Caddy, you would put that up against I'm So Appalled. So Appalled.
I still think the So Appalled verse is better, but yes, you can't put it up against it.
Runaway. Does he have a feature like Runaway?
No, that's
even
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
feature run that he has going on right now.
I would still give the nod to Pusha, but it's a comparable run. You say Cole's never had a run like this. No, he's having a comparable run like it.
He's having a great run right now. Yeah.
But this is what I keep trying to say. Go put Cole's best solo album against Pusha's best solo album. Well, that's Pusha. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pusha got Hell Hath No Fury in his back pocket too, right? Go put Cole's second best album against Pusha's second best album. That's probably about a draw. You get what I'm saying? Like, Pusha's got guest appearance stuff, too. I told you, like, what happened to that boy? The Justin Timberlake shit. He's been all over the place. The shit on Trapper Die, too.
Oh,
like,
man.
He's literally done everything. Illin. That's what I'm saying. He's got all types of shit. Like, why are people acting like Pusha T hasn't done, like, heavy, like, underground mixtape album group work? Like,
we got the Re-Up Gang shit. I mean, that exists.
The Re-Up Gang album, Mike.
Yeah. No,
that's where he first really started talking shit about Wayne on the first song on the Re-Up Gang album. He's like, "Yeah, I don't understand who the fuck you applauding. Yeah, the little nigga flows, but his metaphors boring."
Yeah, I mean, again, and I'm gonna go back to this verse because I love this verse on "Come Go With Me." That was on Pharrell's Gangsta Grill, where he's rhyming over incarcerated Scarfaces. 22 niggas, 2 to a car, 11 flagships with a 3-point star. The only other ballers is them 3-point stars. We only 5'9". They think we point guards. No jumper. Still at the top of the key. No wonder. Sell it for the deuce and the 3 like Air Jordans. What? Listen, man. Y'all really got a problem with that?
I don't care what you're talking.
I know who I think the superior MC is, and I think that MCing really is J. Cole's strong suit. But does Cole and LP said something that I think is noteworthy. Does Cole have a battle that we can point to? Because if we want to bring up the fact that Pusha T, like you said in the previous episode, has taken out 2 of the biggest artists of their day on diss records.
Not 2 of the biggest, the 2.
Number 1 and 2.
Name somebody bigger than Drake and Wayne in the last 15 years.
We would have to go to Kanye West and Jay or something, people that are on his team.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So he took down, so as far as competition is concerned, people he's not tied to, he took down the biggest competition, like in terms of notoriety.
Esquire 601 says Pusha is undoubtedly nice, but his importance in hip-hop has always been attached to the larger act. Pharrell, Kanye, Drake, Biggie, imitation, etc. Okay. Let's see. We got Mad Max with the super chat. LOL. J. Cole smoked Pusha T on his track on FNL.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, on Friday Night Lights, and it's better than Daytona.
First of all, Friday Night Lights is nowhere close.
Is 2014 is better than Daytona. Pusha got no verse better than Johnny P's Caddy. See, now that's a crazy statement. Some of that other stuff is debatable, but he has no verse better than Johnny P's Caddy. Come on.
Hey, you want to know what? I just realized something, too. We have to be aware of the people who are in here. Most of these people that are talking don't know Pusha T's catalog like you and I do, but they know Cole's catalog like that.
Well,
so we would actually have to give them stuff.
Someone said that's an indictment,
I just understood who I was talking to, because it's like, when he said Cole smoked Pusha on Friday Night Lights and it's better than Daytona. And listen, when Mad Max said Pusha got no verse better than Johnny P's Caddy, that's when it's like, oh, you don't listen to Pusha T like that. Okay, I got it. Next.
All right, let's open up this door.
Next.
Does Pusha's lack of impact push him further back? Maybe he's too high because of the lack of impact. Why do you think that his impact isn't as strong as the people that we have around him?
No, if you want to make that argument, because impact does matter, we can have that conversation. That's fair. But what I would tell you is that, well, Cole's the only one who's clearly the superior MC, if you wanted to say so. Mm-hmm. And catalog-wise, none of these guys, I mean, I'm still waiting for the evidence that somebody has a better catalog of the people you're talking about.
No, because when it comes to the music, they really don't.
Diversity in the catalog, because every time I bring up the diversity in the catalog is where niggas get quiet about this. And it's like, well, the guy that's at number one on the list in the region, why is he number one mostly?
Catalog.
Nas is number one all time, Mike. Why is that mostly?
Catalog, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to say less. So it's like when I'm looking at Pusha T's catalog, I know what I'm talking about. And so I'm respectfully going to say, well, you know Cole's catalog. You know Wayne's catalog. You know Tip catalog. How well do you know Pusha T's catalog for you all to be saying that? Because I know Wayne and Cole and T.I.'s catalog as well as I know Pusha T's. Do you know Pusha T's catalog? Do you know about Raid with 50 Cent and Pharrell? You feel me? Because if you don't, you're kind of like missing like a whole lot of key pieces. If you haven't heard that Re-Up Gang album that got released, not the mixtape, but the actual album that got released. Mm-hmm. Like the nigga that's on $1 Million Corner.
Yeah. Matt Max in the Super Chat says, LOL, Cole just got more iconic records. Even Love Yours means more than Push a solo track. Okay, you want to talk about iconic records, or we talking about songs or albums? Because where are the iconic records? Does he have a Grindin' in his catalog?
I was about to say, J. Cole doesn't have one record bigger than Grindin'. Stop saying that. Not one.
I mean, because we're not just going to put stuff out there that's not true.
Like Love Yours? Like Love Yours isn't even his best single. Like, what are you doing?
ED says, Cole has bigger records, bigger influence, better storytelling, and has more diverse subject matter than Pusha. Bigger records?
What records? Like, how about this? What record has J. Cole made this part of a pop culture, like If You Know, You Know? All of y'all walk around saying If You Know, You Know now. Pusha T's the author of that. J. Cole's never been connected with a single to pop culture like that. Mike, every week you can go pull up on the Shade Room and they literally have a If You Know, You Know moments. Well, if you know, and hashtags, like literally IYK, like every week. Every week. So what are y'all talking about bigger? If You Know gets thrown around because it is part of pop culture now. And J. Cole, Mike, I'm from North Carolina. Like, there ain't never been a song that J. Cole dropped in North Carolina that got played more than Grinding got played. Like, what are we talking about? I was in Carolina, in Greensboro when Grinding dropped. Stop that.
You know, I like
and Greensboro and North Carolina got heavy New York influence in terms of this hip-hop aesthetic. Don't sit up here and motherfucking lie and say that. That's my home state.
I'm not trying to be funny. I was in North
Carolina when Grinding dropped. Like, nigga, stop lying.
I'm not trying to be funny, but I personally like Nostalgia more than any J. Cole song out there, and that's not even at the top of Push's catalog like that.
It's not even a single, Mike. Was that even a single?
It got a video. LP with the Super Chat says, like Nas, when you battle people with bigger fan bases, you get downplayed. Same thing happened to Pusha. He's been dragging Wayne and them since HH and F. And he's right. I think a lot of the disdain that people have for Pusha is because he dragged some of you guys' favorite artists.
Right. He been dragging niggas. But you want to know what? And this is what I keep trying to tell you about why he's better. Well, he kind of drugged them because they kind of couldn't fuck with him and they knew it.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't want to get into a battle with him. That's what people have to understand. They're like, oh, well, Wayne would say his little slick shit. No. Wayne would never make a song because Wayne knew that if he made a song, what would happen to his legacy?
No. What happened to him is what happened to Drake. He jumped out the window, and then the story of Adidon came.
But hold on.
And then he went missing for a month.
No, Wayne would have suffered the same fate. No, Wayne would have suffered the same fate because what people fail to realize is like Well, Drake shit ain't been the same since that shit.
No, for real.
And the same thing would have happened
Sycamore
to Wayne.
saved his career that year.
Look
man.
here,
Yeah.
Wayne just had better management. All right, you're like, no, don't do that. Not with that guy. You
Wayne
know that guy's a
probably
real
was
street
like,
nigga.
what is he
He can out
doing?
rap you, right? Be like, don't get into battles with real street niggas who can out rap you.
You know, I think Drake felt like it was going to go a different way. And Wayne always knew, like, look, I'm not... What did Jay Prince say? He was like, don't go out there in the mud with pigs, right?
He couldn't follow the leader far. Mike, he couldn't follow the leader far enough, so I drug him.
Yeah. Esquire
That's
says,
what happened. That's
where
all
is
that
the
happened.
lost ones? Love yours. Too deep for the intro. I get up. Can I live? Once an addict. Run away. For your eyes only. Neighbors for push. I mean, those are all very nice songs, but are we talking like those are all-time great hip-hop records?
What are we doing?
LP with the Super Chat says, story of Adidon is bigger impact than any J. Cole song.
These are facts. These are facts.
Mad Max says, I listen to Pusha. Cole just means way more to me. My generation, Pusha's not even Malice to me. I think Pusha nasty, but he's not J. Cole. Friday Night Lights is in my generation's top 5 mixtapes. It's a generational thing. I get that. And J. Cole means a whole lot to this generation.
But he's
and he also says grinding is diamond. Role models is diamond.
Hold on, but listen to what I'm saying. So what Mad Max is saying, and I want him to respond, and he doesn't even have to respond with a super chat. Have you even heard Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and Volume 2 from beginning to end to even be making this assertion? Because I've heard the material that you're talking about. Have you heard the material that I'm talking about? This goes back to when we were having the Lupe conversation and I brought up Rakim and I was noticing it's like, hold on, I'm bringing up all this Rakim shit and the quiet is getting real quiet. It's like, well, do you know Rakim shit? And so when we're having a conversation about Pusha T and y'all are talking about Cole and you running all this Cole shit down, it's like, that's fine, but do you know Pusha T shit? Because I know Cole shit and Pusha T shit. And if you're not equipped to have the conversation, you need to shut the fuck up and let people who do know both of the catalogs talk. Well, that would be me right now. And so all of y'all talking about Pusha T right now, tell me the records that you've heard from Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and Volume 2 off the top of your head right now so I can respect you in this conversation.
Mad Max says that grinding wasn't diamond and no role models was. This is the thing, guys. Even if no role models is diamond even if no role models is diamond in a streaming era, which already is kind of inflated anyway, do you think that no role models has the impact that grinding has overall in the overall trajectory of this culture? Do you really think that no role models has come on, man. I love the record too. It's not grinding. Come on, man. Come on, man. And let's not go to numbers, man.
It's like, what are we doing?
Let's not go to numbers with that.
No, I want the Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and Volume 2 sides from these guys is telling me that Pusha's not like that, though. You feel me? Because it's like, well, give me evidence. Have you heard Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and Volume 2? If you haven't, silencio, por favor.
ED says, Pusha lacks content. Lacking content drops him below Cole. Too one-dimensional. Do a poll. I understand that. You know what? And you know what? If we want to talk about just the overall scope of what an MC's supposed to do and just hitting you from a more emotional level, I get that with Cole. But I just don't think that he has the strong enough records to compete with Pusha's legacy. What was that?
I was pulling up Re-Up Gang Volume 2.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure we didn't mess up. Cry Now was crazy. Vincent Hughes said Cry Now.
I keep
Cry
waiting
Now, motherfuckers. The four of us counting money on the camera like the Chambers brothers.
No, Mike, where are the people?
Rap shit, none above us.
Mike, where are the people that were saying Cole was better that don't know about Re-Up Gang Volume 1 and 2? Did you see how they got quiet? You feel me?
We're never going to get past this section. I want to go to that next little debate there. Rick Ross and Big Boy. You put Big Boy at 6. I actually had Ross at 6. And I put Big Boy at 7.
Ross has the better solo catalog, but Big Boy does have the Outkast catalog. Yes. I find him to be the true frontman of Outkast in revisionist history. And his solid solo catalog, plus his extremely legendary guest verses, plus the Outkast stuff, I put him slightly ahead of Rick Ross. Originally, I had Rick Ross at 6'2", and I was like, no, I can't put Ross ahead of Big Boy when Big Boy apparently wrote Elevators. You know,
Outkast means a whole lot to me. I think Atlanta's Mount Rushmore for me is Andre, Big Boy, T.I., and Future, right? For everything that Mount Rushmore represents and means when it comes to impact. Right. It's like I love Outkast as a collective, and I think this is more of an individual list. And everything that Rick Ross has been able to do as an individual, I mean, I think that Versus kind of opened up my eyes a lot, where it's like, man, this guy has a lot of shit. And he said, I got a 20-piece for anybody else of different songs. And it's like, whoa.
You understand why I have him so high all this time.
And you know what? And he went up against a guy who I like a whole lot, who once upon a time did 100 features in a single year. So he has a lot of material too. And as much as I love 2 Chainz, he was dwarfed in that Versus.
And listen, people need to understand this too. There was a time when 2 Chainz, for a couple of years, was the biggest rapper in this city when we ran shit. And it still wasn't nothing to Ross. It was nothing. So I've been telling people, Mike, how long have I been people speaking highly of Ross, and people have been pulling my card? And I'm like, once again, are you listening to these albums?
And let me go back to Outkast again. If we're talking about the greatest groups and the greatest duo ever, Outkast is number 1 in my mind when it comes to greatest duo. But we're talking about individuals here, and we're separating them. And I don't think it's fair, for me personally, to put somebody like Ross, who has such a strong catalog by himself and the features that he's done, over somebody who doesn't, whose best work is in a group.
That's fair. If you wanted to, I'm cool.
And that goes with everything that Big Boy and Dre mean to Atlanta. Like, they mean everything to Atlanta. Like I always say, there are Run DMC and Pac and Biggie. You know? But if we want to talk about, it's tough to, I'm trying to be objective here. Now, if this was just in my personal opinion, of course I got Big Boy over Ross. But I can't ignore Ross's catalog. I can't.
It was close for me, and it was hard. I slightly chose Big Boy, and I'm going to tell you why I chose Big Boy. The high-end Outkast singles are better than Ross's high-end singles, and I find Big Boy to be the author of those, because I have Andre at number 8, so it literally was. Like, literally what separated Big Boy in this conversation from Rick Ross and Andre to me is the fact it's like, no, when I go back and I listen to ATLians, it is clear to me that Big Boy is the front man. When I listen to Elevators, front man. You get what I'm saying? When I'm listening to Miss Jackson, So Fresh, So Clean, Rosa Parks, I'm like, most of their big singles that actually pop, with the exception of Bombs Over Baghdad, he's actually the front man on. Dre's the front man on the singles that don't pop. Skewing on the Barbie. Right.
And you think that Big Boy has the best verse on Skewing on the Barbie?
He does have the best verse on Skewing on the Barbie.
I'm conflicted.
Because he has the best delivery combined with lyrics. Give me the totality of the performance, not just the bars.
Well, on this list, I have Big Boy ahead of Andre because Big Boy actually has proven that he can be a solo MC. And again, this is an individual list, right? So I kind of took heed of a lot of things that you were saying on the previous episode, where it's like, we're going to get to the people who have a wealth of a solo catalog, and then we're going to get to the great lyricists, right? And then we kind of fill those things in from there. And I think Big Boy is one of those people who's proven with the Outkast catalog and with his solo catalog, which is straight up quality as well, that he deserves to be ahead of Dre on a list like this. I mean, because again, as much as I love Dre, growing up, one of my favorite rappers, if not my favorite for a good period of time, he has never shown that he can have a song with just him in 3 verses. We don't know what that sounds like. Big Boy has done that 10 times over. West Savannah is a great record. He showed that when he was in the group.
I'm going to say this again. Lauryn Hill has showed us more about her capability as a solo MC on an R&B album than Andre did on his R&B album. Hello.
And honestly, his album wasn't even a quote unquote R&B album. I think there was a lot more room for rapping on his album because it was more.
And it's not
it was
better
more
than
funk
Lauryn Hill's
inspired.
album on a singing level either. That's what I'm saying. It's not a better album than Lauryn Hill's album either.
What about on the writing level? I think the strength of Love Below is the writing.
Like, how about this? Just understand that he's not a better singer or MC than Lauryn Hill.
Is he a better writer though? Because I think the strength of Love Below is the writing.
Oh, is he a better writer? I don't know, because Lauryn Hill wrote, I don't know, Doo-Wop, That Thing, The Final Hour, Zion, Lost Ones. Hell no, he's not a better writer. He's not a better writer than Lauryn Hill.
But she lives on my lap, and hey, y'all, strong.
He doesn't do anything. She Lives in My Lap is the only song from his album. She Lives in My Lap and Prototype are the only songs from the Love Below that would get placement on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
I'm going to have to think about that.
Maybe Spread.
Great
She
too.
Lives in My Lap. And Hey, not even Hey Ya.
What do you think about Roses? Hey Y'all's a great record.
Roses isn't good enough for the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You better stop that.
Old Badley says, this shows y'all have Cole too high. He's not top 10. DeCarlo says, Fabulous got more impact than Pusha T. Fight me. Yeah, right. Right.
Next.
That's not true. Come on, man.
Next. I'm not going to do that. Where are you at? Where are we at?
Yeah, Pusha T stopped the world when he shut Drake down and had him missing from social media for a whole month. Cut it out, guys.
It's very, very clear to me these people
Not to mention when he showed up on, what was that, Maybach Music 4 or 5, and they cut his verse off the album, and his verse leaked, and that verse was actually generating more interest than Ross's whole album that week. Cut it out, guys. ED, and you know what? It's almost dry. Has Fab ever had a rollout like this? Cut it out.
Damn that. Has Fab ever made a song like Brambleton?
ED says Malice was out rapping Pusha during the Clips days. Worst verse on I'm Not You. You know what? I will give you guys the Malice on the first album.
Lord Willin'.
I guess the second album. Lord Willin'. But after that, after Pussy came out, that was on the Barbershop soundtrack, shit started to change. This is a whole classic case of Method Man and Ghostface, where it's like, during Wu-Tang Forever, things started to change a little bit.
No, hold on. Ghost was further away from Meth than Push was from Malice when he jumped. And the jump's not Pussy. Yeah. Listen to where the jump happened, Mike. The jump is actually what happened to that boy with Baby. That's when Push's flow got sick. That's the first time you hear the yuck. Another soul lost. Had to make his shirt match my ox blood colored Porsche.
You know what? Yes. I'll do you one better.
That's the first time you hear that. That's the first time the flow switches like that. He's like literally stacking it different. Blood hit his Timbs. It reminded me of them. He slows his flow down. Glistening, wrist on chiller, gun in the same palm, a gorgeous killer. He wasn't rapping like that before.
You know what? I'll give you one better. What about Cot Damn, the version that's on the Neptunes album? The one that they made a video for.
Yes, the one they made the video to.
Handle the rock like none other.
So hold on,
That's
Mike,
when things started to change. Yeah.
That's the same summer. That's right before Volume 1 of the Re-Up Gang shit.
Imagine that Roy Boys crashing, me unpassion, that Billionaire Boys fashion. You niggas is clones. I hand out styles like ice cream cones. Fuck out of here. That's for real. My gats is real. SL5 is looking like the Batmobile. Yeah, that's when things started to change a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Malice was like literally sicker for like an album and a half.
Esquire says, what are Push's solo cultural significant songs? We just went
through If You Know, You Know. This is what I'm saying.
And I was going to say, the story of Adidon, man, is more synonymous with Pusha than it is with the actual story of OJ from Jay.
No, name the J. Cole song that gets quoted in popular culture the way If You Know, You Know does. I wait.
Mad Max says, you got that, Coop, for the cheap stuff. Isn't a tape for the cheap stuff. Isn't a tape I'm super familiar with on, I do listen to Lord Willin' and Hell Have No Fury. I like Clips, Mr. Me Too, my favorite record from them, but You Got That Cole still's better. DeCarlo says, the fact that y'all got pushed over these hip-hop giants is crazy to me. Dude was literally irrelevant into Kanye while those other guys ran hip hop.
If they were irrelevant, why did they get signed by the Neptunes? When the Neptunes were at their peak.
Man, the Pusha T love is, not love, the hate is wild.
No, it's wild.
Y'all act like this man didn't make Daytona, but I guess y'all think Daytona's not that good.
Damn that. Fuck that Daytona shit. I'm talking about Hell Hath No Fury and this re-up gang shit.
I guess Hell Hath No Fury's not that good either.
I told you, Mike, next to the Purple Tape and Reasonable Doubt, that's my go-to street album.
Killer Lipstick says, Mobb Deep's catalog destroys Outkast's catalog, but you say Outkast was the best duo. What about EPMD?
Let's get to this list so we can enjoy our Friday night.
I love it. But yeah, I think this is a big one that I got killed for on Twitter. I put Future between Andre and Big Boy.
Okay, it's a problem. Definitely a problem.
But see, this is the thing. Again, I'm going off of impact. I'm going off of ability to go out there and run the game as a soloist. I'm not really going off of lyrical skills. Clearly, Andre's the supreme lyricist, right? It's just so tough ranking Dre when we don't have any individual output to go on, and there's nobody out there with more individual output than Future. Let's just be real. And I feel what you're saying. The Future don't rap like that. That's why I left him off the first list. But then people were saying, "Oh, you're missing Future."
Right.
His impact is crazy as an individual.
Not to be that high in my opinion, but I do agree with.
I don't know where to put him. I'll just.
That's the problem.
I'll leave him off the list altogether. But if we're talking about somebody who meshes with everybody, who could go out there and make shit on his own, and people rank Drake so fucking high, he carries Drake. People rank Drake high on an all-time everybody list from a national list. He's better than Drake. He would torch Drake in a versus.
But Mike, part of the problem with that is that people are wrong and they don't know what they're talking about. We're finding that out from this Pusha T conversation. And even though Mad Max may know the records that I'm talking about, the rest of these people that are commenting aren't, because they haven't named any of the records like I asked them to almost 15 minutes ago. Because they don't know what they're talking about in relationship to this argument. And that's fine, because there are rap artists that I'm deficient on too. Those rappers usually suck and aren't as great as Pusha T. But that's neither here nor there. Back to your list, though. That's a little too high for my just hip-hop purist taste for Future. Although I agree with your sentiments. And so I don't think your sentiment is wrong. I think you may have placed him too high to make your point.
This is the thing with Future, right? If we're going to even have him on a list, he has to go up there high. I mean...
No, he doesn't. Says who?
I mean, just based on everything he's done. Based on the criteria.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So there becomes a point for me where it's like, I'm going to let the style win the fight, but you need to be Snoop Dogg. And he's not that. And so he's not going up this high against this type of competition.
I'm thinking more so like the Missy thing, right? And that's why I said that earlier, where it's like, if we're going to include Missy, it kind of throws things off, so let's just not include Missy.
Can I just read like my top 14 right quick?
Yeah.
Scarface, Pusha T, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, T.I., Big Boy, Rick Ross, Andre, Ludacris, CeeLo, Bun B, MJG, 8 Ball, Pimp C. I'm not cool with putting Future in front of any of those guys. I got Killer Mike at 15. We could start right there. Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? This is where I'm at with it.
I'm not putting Future ahead of Pimp C on no Southern rap list.
This is where I'm at with it. I just say I gotta leave him off altogether. He's so tough to quantify because everybody that you name as an individual, it's hard to say any of them really ran the game to the level that Future has done over the past.
No. Rick Ross, T.I., Wayne.
Yeah, but I got them ahead of him.
Oh, hold on. So. No,
everybody I got ahead of him ran the game.
You can't have Bun B behind. You can't have no Bun B and MJG behind Future. I'm sorry, Mike. It's just not going. Not on no Southern rap list.
I feel you. That's what makes him so tough to even rate.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for me on my conscience. Like,
I feel you. Like I said, having
like,
him
be like it down. Like, oh, I put Future at 7. Like, oh
think
shit.
about how I feel putting him above Andre 3000.
No, it's very problematic. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, I struggle to put Rick Ross ahead of Andre.
Yeah, I know.
No bar rhyme having ass. No 3-verse having ass. Andre, I struggle to put Rick Ross over his no 3-verse having ass.
Because we've all heard 16 ain't enough. And it's clear who's the superior MC.
We all know who the better MC is. That's what I'm saying. I had a problem with the first thing I thought about when I put Rick Ross ahead of Dre, it's like, damn, it's like there's that whole 16 thing.
And that's why I want to preference this list with the fact that I went with the people, mostly, who have the catalog. No, and even though Andre's there, he's such an anomaly. You know what I mean? LP with the super chat says, Pusha was irrelevant, but Wayne was biting his style. Yeah. Listen, I know y'all gonna go on that one forever. Dante Smith says Cole's No Role Models is quoted more than any Pusha record. ED says,
no, it's not. It's not quoted more than if you know. Stop telling lies. You see how people pull up and just tell a straight up lie? It gets quoted more than anything else. The fucking Shade Room. Listen, the Shade Room that has more followers than all of us literally quotes if you know every week on a hashtag that reaches there like 50 million people. Shut the fuck up with that role model shit.
ED says role models and middle child eclipse Pusha's solo work impact wise. Man, you guys are really inflating these records. Or maybe I'm just that out of touch. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I think there's another super chat.
You better not be no country ass niggas from Goldsboro, North Carolina, like sending this shit.
Mad Max says, look, Future out-rapped Drake on their collaborative albums, except for 30 for 30. But me, Mike, Future is not beating Drake in the verses. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The energy's different. I'm sorry. You know what that's like? That's literally like, remember when Jay-Z and R. Kelly went on tour together? And R. Kelly had a problem with the fact that Jay-Z was getting more energy than him? Yeah, because he's an R&B singer, and this nigga got You Don't Know and these powerful-ass records. That's what that would look like if they matched up. The energy's way different. He would smoke Drake in the verses. And I hope somebody puts that together and makes it happen. He would smoke him.
Mike, we going on 3 hours. We need to finish our list. I'm so tired of arguing. No, it's
DeCarlo says, Coop, I promise, Future gonna go down as greater than Pusha T. I've heard people say that he is the Rick James of his era. I'm not even joking. I don't agree, but hey, man.
This nigga didn't make Cold Blooded or Give It to Me. Shut up.
Future's a legend to the highest order. Okay.
Cold Blooded is the best song that never had a music video. Next.
We'll get past this, okay. All right, so I got Project Pat at 10. I got Project Pat at 10.
You got Project Pat at 10?
I do.
Nigga, are
that
you
might be a little...
Like, what is going on?
Hey, Pat's a legend, man. He got Mr. Don't Play.
He is not a top 10 Southern. Okay.
He got Mr. Don't Play. You know what?
He does have Mr. Don't Play.
You know how much I love
Southern hip hop. I'm aware.
Yeah, he got Getty Green.
That's one album.
He got Getty Green. He got hella classics.
Like me putting Ray at number 10 because of the Purple Tape.
Do you know how much?
Way more work than Pat.
No.
Top 10 MC.
Cool.
No.
The only other person that might be sampled a little bit more than him is Pimp C. That's it.
I remember putting Ray right outside the top 10.
You did that.
And y'all niggas was like, y'all got Ray too high. I'm like, he made the Purple Tape. He's start off on Cream, and he's on Iron Man. Project Pat don't have it like that.
Pat got hits.
If Raekwon's not a top 10 New York MC with his catalog project, Pat's not a top 10 Southern
Pat's
MC.
songs have lasted a long time. Listen to me though. Cardi just redid Chicken Head,
1,
right?
2, Cream, Iron Man, Bulletproof Walk. No, negative. Project Pat. You're bugging. I want out.
Storytelling ability on 10. Not to mention with the singles.
10. These fans on 10. Y'all bugging today. You just put Project Pat at 10. Where is this list? I can't see
I got
Pimp
C at 11. I got Pimp C at 11. I got MJG
you
at 12.
You have Project Pat ahead of Pimp C?
Yes.
Are you high, Mike?
I do. Project Pat's incredible, man.
How?
You don't think... Listen, it's very close. They're actually, 10 and 11. But let's be real, and I love him. I love
my
him.
10, my 10 and 11.
He got chicken head, man. Does Pimp C have Mr. Don't Play?
When you listen to Riding Dirty, is that not a top 5 Southern rap album, maybe? It's definitely top 10. Maybe top 5? We got The Diary by Scarface. We got Aquemini, right?
You know me, I got Coming Out Hard over that album. So
Soul Food?
Yeah.
You do think Coming Out Hard's better than Riding Dirty?
I do.
That's very problematic.
Nah, man. I mean, like I said, Pat got the catalog, and not to mention the underground mixtape stuff.
I got Pat at 21. Pat's 21 on my list.
Nah, man. Pat's a legend, man. People like, yo, you tripping. Now, all right. Let's look at how much his stuff has been recycled even in current day time. Like, the legs of his catalog is crazy. Cardi just redid Chicken Head, right? Boom.
Now, outside of Mr. Don't Play, though, outside of Mr. Don't Play, how heavy is that replay?
I mean, I just heard ASAP sample something from the third album.
The beat or Pat?
Pat, both. I'm sick. Hudson said Mike's been trolling all day. I'm not trolling today, I promise.
just keep going with your list.
Okay. I got Pimp C at 11. I got MJG at 12. 8 Ball at 13. Bumby at 14. And then CeeLo at 15.
Okay, so our 10 through 14 is comparable because I've got CeeLo, Bumby, MJG, 8 Ball, Pimp C, minus that whole fucking Project Pat thing. I have Project Pat between Mystical and Juvenile. Where he belongs.
I got Juvenile then Mystical at 16 and 17. And then I got Ludacris. Then I got Ludacris.
You got Luda where?
I got Luda at number 18.
I got Luda at 9. You got Luda at 18? You got Pat at 10?
Yeah. Lionel Goldsmith says Project Pat has worldwide impact. If we want to talk about...
I'm glad he asked you, Brian.
If we want to talk about actual longevity of catalog and whose catalog is aged better, Pat's catalog is aged much better than Luda's.
That's fair.
It just has. Nas the Goat says, name me a Pusha T album that's better than Mr. Don't Play. Now that one, you might have a point there, Nas the Goat. I'm not mad at that. That's tough. Mr. Don't Play. We've talked about this. Mr. Don't Play is the purple tape of 3-6, man.
No, it's the purple tape of the South.
It is. That goes a long way. Everybody keeps talking about why Fonte's not on my list.
Fonte's not in your top 25?
Nah, I got Luda at 18. I got Gucci at 19. And then I got Currency at 20. And
I got Currency at 17, right after Fonte.
I like that. And then you got Jay Electronica at 18. You got 2 Chainz at 19. So I put Crit in mine. So I put Crit in 21. And I got 2 Chainz at 22. It's another one I got roasted for. I put Quavo at 23.
You deserve that. I got Crit in my top 50. He's just not in my top 25.
Listen, all right. So
I don't want to do the Crit
You
thing.
got Saha at 24. You got Jeezy at 23. And you got Rhapsody at 25. I got Killer Mike at 24.
I got Killer Mike at 15.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, as far
Why
as
you got Killer Mike so high?
I mean, as far as bar work is concerned, he's been our most consistent lyricist the last 10 years down here. Maybe 15.
Killer Mike just put out...
He's been the most consistent lyricist to come out of the South the last 15 years.
Killer Mike just put out a song the other day, Run, featuring Young Thug, and he announced that it was his first solo song, in 10 years. So you're talking about his Run the Jewels work?
And the 5 years before that when he was doing the solo work. That's why I said last 15.
Oh, you said 10. Okay.
10, 15.
So 15.
He's been our most consistent lyricist.
What's Killer Mike's most impactful piece of work and song, you would say?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a valid question. I would have to think about it.
And we already pretty much put it out there that the South doesn't play Run the Jewels at all. Or at least
We
Atlanta.
said Atlanta doesn't play Run the Jewels. We don't know what the rest of the South is doing.
If Atlanta doesn't, I'm pretty sure that the rest
that's not true because we got big boy problems down here where they don't play big boy shit like they should either. They fucking up down here.
Yeah.
So
Quavo says, I'm sorry, somebody said Quavo.
The whole legends down here whose whole career is responsible for and paid for by Outkast, but they don't play big boys records. But I'm gonna say
I think that's awful. I think that's awful. You know,
I think them motherfuckers awful.
Antlearn says, where would y'all put Zero? That's probably in the top, 50 range. Somebody said something about
Zero from Houston.
Yeah,
I thought about Zero. He didn't make my 50, but it was like on some honorable mention shit because I really like Zero.
Yeah, people are like, Quavo over Killer Mike. Yeah, I mean, look, man.
I feel you. I even get what you're saying.
You
about
see what I'm saying? Like the impact.
You can question me about Killer Mike thing because I already told you about that moment where my daughter and my niece were in the back singing Bad the Bougie. It was the first time I heard them sing a rap song.
The impact is crazy. We all know who Quavo is because of the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an ambassador for the Atlanta Hawks, right? And not to mention just this whole Migo thing. This is his brainchild for the most part. And I don't think people really understand, like, when the Migos were actually kind of making their grassroots footprint out here, he was all over it. He was over everything. And this is when Offset was in jail. This man put in a lot of work. And a lot of these records that they had hits, multiple hits, every year. For the past, they've just now started taking a break. But if we talk about the last 10, 15 years, these guys is all over the radio, all over the clubs.
Correct.
And we're not talking about just some, BS music for the most part. I think Bad and Bougie is one of the bigger songs of the past 10 years in hip hop. Is that not accurate?
No, I just spoke to it.
I don't think that. I think Killer Mike's impact is somewhere else and not the music.
You might have a valid point.
And somebody said Ronald Reagan. I'm like, yeah, I'm with that. Because the album Rap, R.A.P., that Killer Mike put out, that was a game changer for him.
That was.
But I think even when Monster came out, do you feel like the city even galvanized behind that?
So I'm going to say this again. It's like, well, Atlanta radio really been on some sucker shit post the whole Lil Jon run is really what I'm trying to say nicely.
They supported Reaction when he put the remix to Action out there where they had, where he was conforming and, had Troy and all them on it.
I don't give niggas credit for doing what they supposed to do, Mike.
All right, let me ask you this though, because both him and T.I. were on Never Scared, and that song got all kind of play. Mm-hmm. What did T.I. do that Killer Mike didn't do? Because they both got that same platform. And in my personal opinion, Killer Mike has a great verse on there too.
T.I. is a better personality and more charismatic.
So, but this doesn't come down to the music?
No. Not when all things are equal. When all things are equal between the talent, it comes down to star power. And T.I.'s star power is far, far brighter than Killer Mike's.
So Killer Mike, at that time period, you feel like he put out a trap music?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But what I'm telling you is that what carried T.I. before trap music came out, more than Killer Mike's buzz did, was T.I.'s star power. You felt like you were dealing with a star, somebody that was about to be a superstar. He gave you that feeling, that charisma, and that effect. Killer Mike did not. Killer Mike gave you that's a dope-ass MC vibe.
Oh, yeah.
T.I. gave you this guy's a star vibe.
Let's dial it back, right? Adidas. Because, again,
I love Adidas.
I love Adidas, too. Big Boy was awesome on there. Killer Mike was awesome on there, too. But this is the thing. Revisionist history, Killer Mike was bigger than T.I. at that point. Killer Mike was all on 106 and Park in ways that T.I. wasn't.
How long did that last?
Until T.I. consistently was putting out music that drowned that out.
I think you forgetting that it's like, well, no, T.I. made his rounds. Remember he did round here with Memphis Bleak? You know what I'm saying? Like Tip stepped outside of the box and was willing to take more chances and was working with more producers that weren't from here. There's
I
a
think
reason
he was just the better versatile artist to do so. And I brought up Adidas
was Killer
because
Mike getting tracks from David Banner back then and making them into hit records people could sing and dance to, because T.I. was.
exactly, this all boils back down to the music.
No. But what I'm saying is that, like, on Rubber Band Man, T.I.'s not rapping phenomenally. He sounds like a star. Killer Mike is not the star that T.I. is. He never was, Mike. Even early on, when you're hearing Rubber Band Man, when you're hearing 24s, when you're hearing Let's Get Away, Killer Mike never, even in his hit records, even when he was bigger, never gave you the type of vibe that he was about to be, the type of star that Tip was about to be. I'm sorry, I never got that vibe.
So why do you have him at 15 then?
Mostly for the MC work and the bar work that I just spoke of the last 15 years. He is one of our best lyricists ever.
Okay. Mad Max in the super chat says, J-Elect is the South's Lloyd Banks, because I like J-Elect. Son's nasty. I like J-Elect too. I just think that when it comes to the rest of these guys, he just doesn't have enough to match up.
Right. I mean, J Electronica lyrically is better than everybody on here off the top of my head, with the exception of CeeLo, like period, point blank.
Or Sci-Hi or something. But yeah.
No, I meant what I said. CeeLo, Electronica. Because here's the thing, even with CeeLo, and I say this respectfully, most of his execution is on verses within the group format and not a song by himself.
No,
he has not executed that supreme lyricism on solo records as well, now has he? But he's got decisions, and thought process, and get up, get out.
And you think J-Elect has? Because he had to share the album with Jay. And see, I think for me, Sci-Hi kind of stands alone in that because of the Black History Project.
Well, no, but listen to what I'm saying. I got CeeLo at 10. I got Electronica at 18. So I'm obviously giving more credence to CeeLo and what CeeLo's done.
Yeah. I mean, I just say that Jay Electronica is not enough because he had an opportunity to do that with a written testimony, but Jay-Z, he shared the album with Jay-Z.
I mean, Jay Electronica should be like 18 on an all-time list, actually. So,
I mean,
you really want to call a spade a spade.
Talk about a what 18. If.
Yeah, he's like, we're talking about like a list. It's like he's supposed to be number 18 on like the greatest rappers of all time list, but that's neither here nor there.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, actually, I take that back. Maybe Sci-Hi is the South's Lloyd Banks. Yeah, I think he might be. DeCarlo with the Super Chat says, I'm not being funny when I say this, but y'all gonna have to put Lil Baby or the Baby on the list eventually if Quavo's in here.
Lil Baby's on my list, on my 50.
I don't think people are privy to the amount of material somebody like Quavo has, and I get that. Maybe I just have more of a local insight on that. Chris Daughtery says, face aside, outside of the bars, Ross' catalog is better than any of them. Just play the music. Plus, over time, Ross's music has proven to be more timeless. Hussein
he said Scarface aside, right?
Yeah.
He took Scarface out of that conversation.
Yeah, he took Space out of that.
Very intelligent quote.
Hassan Sykes says, Killer Mike's best song is God in the Building. If I can't eat right, you can buy the Goodbye off of the Pledge album. I like Niggas Down South. That was one of my favorite Killer Mike songs. You know what my thing with Killer Mike is, and I think that I agree with you. It's an incredible MC. I just think that he never really found that sound that was perfect for him. I think he came around Outkast during a time when they were real funked out with the psychedelic drums and psychedelic instrumentation that really wasn't the best fit for him. And that's why I brought up Adidas. He sounded like a bull in a china shop, where it was like you have these delicate beats with big boys on there like 65 Chevrolet Impala Peachy Green, and he's approaching it like Killer Mike does, you know. I don't drill when I feel, even when she's on the pill. And even you heard that on Stankonia too, where it was like he was dope on there, but I think that if he came around the dungeon during the late 90s, he would have had production that fit his style a lot more.
Maybe.
Mad Max in the Super Chat says, Little Baby needs another album. People crowning him too soon. I like his sound. He's like a sped up Southern Mace. Wayne combo, just nowhere near as good. Like a Mace and Wayne combo. Nowhere near as good. We'll get to this other Super Chat and we'll get on out of here. Old Badley says, CeeLo's solo rap album is great. Soul Machine. Is that a full solo rap album? And yeah, I got Pastor Troy at 25. I had Jeezy, and then I went Troy. And I think Troy needs his flowers because I think his impact has kind of gotten lost in history, really.
Do you remember when it used to be easy to do like a top 50 rapper list and you didn't even have to go by region? And like we can't even get through like a top 25 list now.
It's hard.
The game has just grown so much. That's why when people are like, oh, y'all gonna do a greatest 100 rappers list? It's like, you understand, we can go like greatest 100 rappers by region and like niggas would still be like, hey, you remember that you forgot such and such from such and such. Right?
Well, you know, the discrediting of Pusha T, man, LP said something when he said the fact that Pusha has crushed some of people's favorite artists. I think that has a lot to do with it.
No, I think some of this has to do with the fact that people really have not listened to the early classic part of his catalog. Like Lord Willing's a borderline classic. Hell Hath No Fury is a classic. Re-Up Gang 1 and 2 classic. Like you know this, Mike, he's really never dropped any whack material.
Yeah. His consistency is very Jadakiss-like, but he actually has
higher
albums that Jada doesn't have.
Yeah, his output is higher because it's like, well, he's never has a solo artist and has a group artist. He's never made less anything than a 3.5. He's never dropped no whack shit.
DeCarlo says, can y'all do a list for the East, West, and Midwest too?
Oh, God.
Haha, putting us to work. You know what? If we were to do one for the East, I would like to go borough to borough and kind of chop that up.
Can we get the Southern list done first? Because we need to.
No, we're done, right? We're done.
This shit don't add up, nigga. You got Project Pat at 10. I got him at 21. This shit is not done.
Okay, maybe I got Pat a little bit too high.
We're gonna have to find some meeting in the middle. You know where we met wonderfully in the middle? That whole 8-ball MJG UGK thing in the middle. Like our first 15 is very comparable. I think it's after that where we kind of need to flesh it out. Like some of your stuff, like I may have Luda too high. You might have Pat too high.
Okay. Yeah. And also, you got Bun B over MJG 8-ball and Pimp C. I got Pimp C over, but I got Bun B the last of those four.
Bun is the best because let's not forget Bun's solo material and Bun's appearances. Right.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. But do you think that Pimp C's impact is greater than Bun's?
Yeah, I think Pimp C's impact is top 5 in this region.
Okay.
His impact might be bigger than Face's impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hassan Sykes says, y'all need to go back and listen to I Pledge Allegiance to the Grind. I love that project from Killer Mike. Goodbye is this crazy story. I think that's the best production that he's rhymed on, in my opinion. Because I wasn't a big fan of the production on rap, actually.
Really think I might have to do a Pusha T playlist.
Yeah, you got to do a Pusha T playlist for the people. And, you know, maybe I'm being petty. Maybe I should have had Jeezy on there instead of Quavo.
You there, Mike?
I'm
about to say, you there? Your screen just went out. Are we done?
No, I'm here. Maybe I should have put Jeezy on there other than Quavo. But I think that Quavo's impact is really understated. Because a lot of people want to complain about Migos, but people want to big up folks like Lil Baby, Gunna, Thug, and all that. I mean, Quavo and that Migos run had a lot to do with all of this. A whole lot.
Is this you making your case for Quavo?
It is me making my case for Quavo. Okay. I think, I'm also say this too. I know they're going to think I'm trolling. I think he's one of the best, if not the greatest group leader in hip-hop.
And
down
everybody,
there with the RZAs, with the Q-tips. He's a great leader of the group. He lets everybody shine. He's distributing the rock, man. Like, you can tell he played quarterback in high school.
Please go purchase our yearbook on Amazon. We have a 2020 and 2021 yearbook available for purchase on Amazon.com. We're also happy to let you know Mike and I will be picking up a third show soon. We're currently working out the details of that, like you all have been requesting. Please pay no attention to these comments Mike is making about Quavo right now.
And you know what? And on this third show, there will be music played. So
yes, there
these
will
outlandish Project Pat and Quavo takes that I will have music to back that.
No, the Project Pat shit isn't outlandish. Putting him at number 10 is outlandish.
Man, Project Pat's...
Oh, that is biased like a motherfucker.
That might be a little biased.
That might be biased.
That might be a little biased. I mean, Future at 8 is kind of crazy too, right? I like this little run here with Juvenile and Mystical.
No, I think we got similar thoughts and ideas. We just need to mesh it together and get a more comprehensive list for people to hate on like they.
I don't have Fonte on my list because
very problematic.
Is it?
Lyrically speaking, yeah.
Again, man, I'm kind of going on catalog, and
hold on, it's not it's a problem when you have Project Pat at number 10 and you have no Fonte. It's both of those things.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, it's a little problematic.
Is it? I've always thought
it's problematic. Yes.
I know people didn't really love some people agreed with the Rhapsody take earlier. Here's another hot take.
Oh Lord.
I think the star little brother, I always felt like this, was Ninth Wonder.
No, everybody knows Ninth is the start. I don't mean Fonte ain't crazy nice though.
Kind of boring sometimes.
There are people in North Carolina that think Fonte's better than Cole. I have to tell those people to shut up.
Dante Smith says Quavo needs to prove himself as a solo artist first. Y'all ain't like Lamb talk?
I want to let you know this too, Mike. There is some Carolina slander going on with you that I'm not going to stand for. Because today you didn't put Rhapsody on this list or Fonte.
I got J. Cole very high.
Nobody from North Carolina gives a damn about that, Mike. We're like, that's that Chris Rock shit. You don't get credit for doing it. Oh, we got J. Cole up high. He's arguably, like, in terms of the lyrical work that's been put out, the best lyricist that's ever come out of this region in terms of the actual accumulated work. So giving him top 5 status is giving him his due. You don't have Fonte or Rhapsody in your top 25, so you're just skipping around North Carolina, huh? You're just skipping the whole home state. It's like, no, fuck Greensboro, Charlotte, Raleigh, fuck y'all.
I mean, even on Hiding Place, right? On the Minstrel Show, when Fonte and Elzai going back and forth, that's Elzai all day. And you know how much I'm a big Elzai guy.
Time to go.
So hold, let me ask you this. And I know catalog is catalog. But you think Fonte's nicer than Saha? Bar for bar?
I think because of the Little Brother catalog and because of his solo stuff, he has more to show for himself. But I do not think he's better bar for bar than Saha. No.
Okay.
I would put Saha right in front of him, as a matter of fact. Like, lyrically, if we were going to lyricists in this region, I would give Cole and CeeLo top billing. I would give Cole, CeeLo, and Andre top billing as the lyricist because of the work and the supreme way that they're looked at because of the work. And then I would go to the next set of guys. But Cole, CeeLo, and Andre in the people's minds have solidified themselves. So
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hiding Place is not Elzai, but Fonte going back and forth with the highest level MC that I've heard him go back and forth with. And to me, it was a pretty big gap. So what other evidence do we have of Fonte rapping with some of the upper echelon of MC, of just quality MCs where you could say he is at that level?
Well, that's not fair for you to ask questions like that, and we're not auditing Project Pat at number 10. You feel me?
Well, I mean, Project Pat's been on records with Luda, been on records with UGK.
And he doesn't sound better than them when he's on the records with them.
I think he's right there, if not more.
I could say the same thing about Fonte on the Elzai song. That's why when you're making it seem like Elzai's the supreme rapper to Fonte on that record, it's like, no.
He is.
No,
Ball as long as LeBron's bronze sneakers? What? Come on now. No. You're not going to act like they were on the same level on Hiding Place. No.
You don't think so? Okay.
No. No, I don't think there's anybody that would say that. Do y'all think that in the room? Maybe I'm just, toned down.
What's the Fonte joint with
hold on, let me get to some of these super chats so we can get up out of here. I know we're almost like 3.5 hours in.
Yeah. I'm about to say, dude, it's 9 o'clock. Dude.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. We got to go. LP says, all for you, expensive jeans, last days, loving it. Speed, slow it down, whatever you say. Always from me.
The Royce
that
and
ain't
Doom
love.
joint.
Fonte got great songs. Okay.
There it is. Hold on. I'm in the chat. LP's right. Fonte killed Royce and Dune.
Okay. DeCarlo says
that's a way higher degree of difficulty than L's Eye.
DeCarlo says I'll take Soulja Boy over Quavo impact wise. Okay.
I'm out. It's time to go. It's Friday. Everybody been drinking, having a good time. Apparently, we get to say anything on this show now.
Okay.
I'm out.
We're going to holler at y'all on Wednesday. Great show. And we covered so much. Have a great weekend, everybody.